administration. Money Watch correspondent Kelly O'Grady says it comes as consumer confidence takes a hit.
The numbers that we're seeing in terms of how people feel about the future of the economy and their finances, lowest level since 2011. And there seems to be particular concern about the labor market and employment, the worst numbers we have seen since 2009, the Great Recession.
Now, we will see how this morning's report impacts Wall Street when the bell rings at been about 30 minutes at 9:30. It has already sent stock futures, though, plummeting this morning. Marietta police announced this morning an arrest following a shooting at a business along Cobb Parkway. Investigators say a 47-year-old man entered a business, then started verbally and physically attacking his wife. It's when a manager drew his handgun and fired a single shot at the ceiling to try and get the man to leave. That man's now in the Cobb County Jail on battery and family violence charges. The manager not facing charges. The incident forced the shutdown of Cobb Parkway during Tuesday afternoon drive. We now know the date for the trial of the father of the accused Appalachian High School shooter in Winder.
Colin Gray is set to face trial on September 8th, almost a year to the day after the shootings last September 4th that killed 4 and injured 9 more. He is accused of giving his teenage son Colt Gray access to the AR-style weapon used in the assaults. He's facing numerous charges, including 2 counts of second-degree murder, and is currently free on a $500,000 bond. Judge Nicholas Prim set the trial date. He previously ruled that Gray's trial should not be before a Barrow County jury, though he has not yet said if the case will be moved or if an outside jury will be brought in. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
Ukraine announcing a short while ago it's prepared to sign a landmark mineral resources deal with the U.S. A pair of anonymous Ukrainian officials say Ukraine's economy minister, currently in Washington, D.C. now, working on the deal's final details. It's expected to allow the U.S. access to Ukraine's wealth of minerals, although Ukraine has complained previous drafts of the deal have been one-sided, favoring the U.S. Comes as the White House continues to push for a peace deal to end the fighting between Ukraine and Russia. Well, it seems your dollar may be stretching a bit further these days.
Primerica's latest household budget index increases the purchasing power of middle-income households making between $30,000 and $130,000. It now sits at 99.6%, up 0.2% from a month ago and 1.3% higher from a year ago. The index is an economic snapshot that measures the impacts of inflation. And while experts say we are getting some relief from lower gas prices and auto insurance, we are still paying more for food, utilities, and health care. I'm Bloomberg's Monica Ricks for 95.5 WSB.
It's 9:03. The Mark Arum Show begins in less than 2 minutes. But first, live team coverage of traffic and weather. We start with Triple Team Traffic and Smile and Mark McKay.
Got trouble on the east side perimeter, Judd. DeKalb police not with it, but we see the crash. 4 passenger vehicles and a pickup knocking out 2 left lanes. So only a right lane getting by. Travel advisory on the outer loop 285 north at the I-20 interchange, right at the ramp to I-20 east. That's keeping things slow. Almost back to Boulder Crest now. So if you're coming out of Clayton County, heading east and north toward I-20, get off at Moreland Avenue and head north toward I-20. I-20 is slow approaching Moreland Avenue in East Atlanta because the connector northbound is still stacked up. 7585 northbound leaving Langford Parkway, trying to get up in Midtown past John Lewis Freedom Parkway. I-75 struggles continue in Cobb County. Ashley Frasca.
But Cobb County police showed up to this crash on the left shoulder on 75 South just past Delk Road. The held all lanes moved it to the right, so everything back open there. A little slow in spots coming down from Canton Road Highway 5 and cleaned up on 575 South easy now, leaving Ridgewalk Parkway down to I-75. Triple Team Traffic, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly cloudy and humid today, high 83. A stray pop-up shower can't be ruled out. Lows tonight in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy with pop-up showers and thunderstorms, high 84. Friday, partly cloudy with scattered storms, high 82.
64 degrees in Douglasville, 68 in Stone Mountain, 68 degrees in Midtown Atlanta at 9:05. More news at 9:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Judd Hickenbotham, 95.5 WSB.
Someone text Erickson and let him know I might need to dip into his show today. 3 hours is not enough to talk about all we have to talk about today on the Mark Arum Show. Welcome, friends. Holy smokes, what a busy news day. GDP numbers just announced, dropping 0.03%. What does that mean? We shall see. We're going to talk to someone from Bloomberg News on that. 30 minutes from now, we're going to go to the White House, talk to correspondent John Decker. He was on Air Force One with President Trump yesterday as he returned to D.C. after that rally in Michigan. Stephen Lawson, political analyst, live in studio. We're going to go to L.A. ports. Apparently, they are expecting a sizable drop-off on imports and exports in the L.A. ports. Carter Evans from CBS going to join us talking tech with Kim Komando. Going to give away another $1,000 today in the 5K day bonus blitz, but probably the most important guest today on the Mark Arum Show, at least for dudes my age, Christy Brinkley, live on the show at 10:18 today. Unbelievable. So we're going to give away $1,000 and then talk to Christy Brinkley here on the show. Deborah, am I allowed to bring up her ex-husband, Billy Joel, in this interview, do you know?
Yeah, so she's going to be talking about a book she put out, and there's a lot about Billy Joel in there.
All right, excellent. So, I mean, I'm just envisioning the pool scene in Vacation. Not really envisioning a shirtless Chevy Chase, but, you know.
Yesterday, when I sent a breakdown of like, hey, this is tomorrow, that was all our boss responded was with Christy Brinkley.
Yeah, I'm excited. So she's going to join us at 10:18. I want to start, though. I'm going to tell a story and piggyback it to a local story. And it relates to the economy and making sure that we get what we pay for. Right? That's a big concern, especially when you're trying to pinch every penny and squeeze every dollar out of your budget. You want what you pay for. And rightly so. So I had some friends in from Deborah's home state of Wisconsin over the weekend. They were in town for a convention, and they were staying at a very nice hotel in downtown Atlanta. So my buddy Carter, I'll say his name, was checking into the hotel, and he reserved a hotel room with a king-size bed. And because it's a convention, it's downtown Atlanta, it was a $450 hotel room. Right? Look, he just fell off his chair. That's an expensive hotel room, right? For Atlanta specifically. Like $450 in New York is, all right, I guess I'll pay it. In Vegas, I guess I'll pay it. But $450 for a hotel room in Atlanta is a lot of money. He checks into the hotel. Again, it's a convention. It's jammed. The hotel's full. It's craziness down there. And he gets in, and they give him a room with 2 queen beds instead of a king bed. And I hate confrontation. I would have said, okay, that's fine. But my buddy Carter was like, no. I paid for a room with a king bed. I paid $450 for this room. I want a room with a king bed. And the guy, the clerk behind the desk was like, oh, let me see what I can do, sir. And blah, blah, blah. Comes back and finally says, okay, we've got one now. It's just going to be about 20 minutes. So we can get the room clean. You get your king bed. We'll take your luggage up. In the meantime, here's some free appetizers from the kitchen. I don't know if you got chicken wings or whatever. I was like, oh, that's great customer service, right? I would have been like, all right, fine, queen bed. But that's just me. But Carter was like, no, I paid $450. I want a king bed. I want what I paid for. So I respect him. This kid's like 25 too. The ignorance of you. I was like, all right. So anyway, he's like, yeah, that's fine. I'll wait. They give him chicken wings. They take his bags up. They come over. Carter, Mr. Carter, your room's ready. They give him the key. He goes on up, opens the room, and there's 2 queen beds, no king bed, and his luggage isn't there. So now he's perturbed. I mean, he got free wings out of the deal. Goes back down. They apologize again. Oh, it would be 20 more. Finally, he gets what he pays for. He gets the king bed. Now I get it. $450. I might have said, all right, yeah, I want the king bed. But I know me. I wouldn't have. Deborah, would you have put up a stunk if you paid $450 for a room and instead of getting a king bed, you got 2 queen beds?
No, I'd probably be like, all right, that's
yeah,
fine.
Exactly.
Just,
but anyway,
just let me get in the room.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, especially flying in from Wisconsin. Anyway, Carter did it, stood up for it, he wanted what he paid for. And right, we all want what we pay for. But it's a paradigm. You know, if I'm paying $450 for a hotel room, I want what I paid for. I wanted the jacuzzi. I wanted the minibar. I wanted the king bed. But if you're paying $45 for a hotel room at, I don't want to throw shade to any brands, but, you know, the Knights Inn on South Cobb Drive, Super 8, you know, we're not talking about the Ritz or the Four Seasons. I mean, $45, you get what you pay for. If you're paying $45 for a room at the Knights Inn and you want a king bed and they give you 2 queens, I mean, you can raise a stink, but it's $45. You're getting what you pay for. So you have that shift in your mind when you know you're paying a high amount. You have that moral authority to say no, I'm going to complain. I want what I paid for. I want the room with the king bed. I want that. You know, this happens to me at rental car places. If I fly up to Connecticut and visit my parents and rent a car, and I pay for a full-size SUV, and they're like, oh, we have a sedan for you. No. This is expensive. It's like $800 for the week. I want a full-size SUV. But if it was a $20 a day rental car place, and they're like, oh, we don't have an SUV, here's a Ford, a Yugo, or whatever that car is. You get what you pay for. The reason I bring this up is there has been a paradigm shift in what we expect when it comes to fast food. Right? 10 years ago, the combo deal was like $3.79. You get a quarter pounder, you get fries, you get a Coke, $3.79. At $3.79, we're not expecting perfection from our fast food establishments. It's under $4. It's a meal. They mess up. They give me Diet Coke instead of regular. It is what it is. What am I going to do? They forgot my fried apple pie. Am I going to turn around 3 miles later and get? No, I paid $4. I got what I paid for. I expect. But now fast food prices are so expensive. It's insane. Combo meals like $15, $18. I don't even want to know what you pay at Whataburger when you chow down there, Longoria. But I go to, I'll use McDonald's as an example, and what used to be a $4.99 meal is now like $11 after tax. So in my mind, I used to, brush aside mistakes at the drive-thru because it's $5. What am I going to make? But when I'm paying $15 for a meal, no. My needs have changed. I now want to get what I paid for, which brings us to this local story, Deborah. And this happened in Metro Atlanta. There was a problem with a fast food order. What can you tell us?
Happens when you do go through the drive-through and they get your order wrong, but you might not know because you're already halfway down the road and you don't want to turn around. Well, this one man who stopped at a McDonald's on the Veterans Memorial Highway, he decided he wasn't going to stand for it. He took action. Anthony Statham allegedly pulled out a gun, waved it around at the employees. He was upset that they got his order wrong. Now he did eventually leave and they were able to get his license plate number, so the police were able to track him down, and they noticed that the gun was still in the car, so they did arrest him and charge him. And we don't know what they got wrong in his order.
But first of all, that's an overreaction. But if I paid $15 for a meal and I'm a mile and a half down Veterans Memorial and, they forgot my fillet of fish, I'm turning the blank around. 10 years ago, I'd been like, that was the breaks. I paid $5. No. I want what I paid for. At $15, I want what I paid for. I would turn around. I am not saying wield a gun, wave it around, not saying resort to violence, but I think, and this goes for everybody that works in customer service, in retail, in the food industry, when consumers are paying more, they expect more. So if you go to Vinny goes to Gap all the time to get his gear. Vinny's now paying $65 for those khaki shorts that used to cost him $25. He wants service commensurate with the price he's paying, and that I think everyone should want that. We want what we pay for, and it used to be we would let things slide in the fast food business. Not so much anymore. Anyway, we'll follow that. I mean, listen. A criminal case in a fast food joint, Deborah. I want updates on that consistently. All right. This is, I think, a story that is going to affect a lot of folks listening right now. It certainly impacted me. I don't know for sure because it happened so long ago, but it's assumed that my grandfather passed away from Alzheimer's disease. Joining us from ABC News, it's correspondent Jim Ryan. Jim, good morning, buddy. Thanks for your time. The Alzheimer's Association released its annual report yesterday suggesting that 300,000 new cases have been diagnosed in the past year. That's a big number, my friend.
Well, it is higher, and now the number is above 7 million for the first time ever. The number has grown over the past year, but I'm not sure that anyone is surprised at that because Alzheimer's, it's not an automatic that as you get older, you're going to have Alzheimer's or Alzheimer's-related dementia, but older populations are the ones who show it. And in fact, the thinking of the Alzheimer's Association is that the very first signs of Alzheimer's, the earliest signs can appear in a person's 40s, that you don't show symptoms until much later than that. In fact, the folks from 65 to 74 years old with Alzheimer's, the percentage is fairly low, about 5%. Once you hit 85 years old, though, Mark, 1 in 3 within that population is living with Alzheimer's-related dementia of some degree.
Wow, that's a big number. Now, do maybe we see the increase in the number of cases is just because it's being tested for more, identified more easily now than it was, say, 10, 15, 20 years ago?
Well, certainly that's one part of it, and researchers and physicians have better ways of identifying Alzheimer's, of finding traces of what might be related to Alzheimer's. Of course, there's no confirmation that anyone has Alzheimer's until after that person dies and a postmortem is done. But that's absolute confirmation. But there are indicators early on. There may be a blood test at some point in the future. Interestingly, the Alzheimer's Association, also asked people about that. Besides releasing these figures, ask people about their views on this. Would they want to know if they had the positive readings for Alzheimer's? And many people, about 21%, say no. I'm not interested in finding out. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. I'd rather not know.
ABC's Jim Ryan joining us on the Mark Arum Show. The Alzheimer's Association also put out a warning when it comes to treating disease and trying to diagnose and get more research, and it might be a political warning.
Well, sure. And in fact, just since the beginning of the year, there was a program at the University of California, a research study that relied heavily on federal grants. It was intended to look at Alzheimer's across different populations. And so the goal was to recruit volunteers, Black, white, Hispanic, in equal proportions. The study had the word diversity in its title. Someone at DOGE or someone in Washington saw that and pulled $10 million worth of funding from the program. Now, the head of the department, the head of the program, went to Washington, pleaded his case, and said that the money was restored. But in the meantime, about 50 of the volunteers who had signed up for that study, this important study on Alzheimer's, had dropped off the program altogether, primarily out of confusion. So now University of California is trying to recruit new volunteers for this particular program. So it's already having some impact, if only in slowing down the work on some of this research.
Interesting. Final question for you, Jim, and you might not know the answer for this, but Alzheimer's, do researchers think this is a genetic issue? Is it environmental? Do we know the cause of Alzheimer's yet?
There is a genetic component to all of this, and anybody can download this report, by the way. The Alzheimer's.org site has it. It's 152 pages, so get your printer ready. But it does go into research into what the causes of this might be. And there appears to be a genetic component there, because very often it runs in families. And so I think that's part of the concern that people have, that I don't want to get tested. I know that one of my grandparents had this, one of my parents had Alzheimer's. I just don't want to know. 79% say they do. 21% say they just don't want to know, Mark.
Yeah, really rough, and 7 million families affected by this right now. Jim Ryan, ABC News. Great stuff as always, Jim. Thank you.
See you, Mark.
All right, Alzheimer's, that's a big number. 7 million currently diagnosed, and no cure in sight. So thanks to Jim Ryan on that. When we come back, GDP numbers announced, how it's impacting futures on Wall Street. We'll give you the latest numbers then. But first, let's check this travel advisory in DeKalb County. Live with the latest, Mike Shields.
Right on the southeast leg of the perimeter, Mark, crashing 2 left lanes involving several vehicles. 285 northbound, the outer loop right at I-20 exit 46. The 2 left lanes impacted and jammed all the way back to Boulder Crest Road exit 51. Last chance to really exit off and avoid these delays is Moreland Avenue exit 53. Take that north to I-20 eastbound as a wide way around that. Also, watch out for road work. Appears to be setting up in 2 left lanes. 85 northbound north of Sonoya Road exit 61 in Fairburn. Highway 29 is a great alternate. The support is brought to you by Whole Foods Market. Save on quality treats and eats during their Mother's Day event at Whole Foods Market. Discover only the best for mom with deals on flowers, body care, desserts, and more through May 11th. I'm Mike Schultz, 95.5 WSB.
On air, online, on the app,
where you get your news
is where you'll win.
Download the WSB radio app now and maybe win $1,000.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
5 words, 5 times a day, every weekday.
Oh my God, you just made my day.
Just enter the word at WSBradio.com or on the WSB radio app.
Your next chance to win is coming up at 10.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz
on 95.5 WSB.
Home's your happy place, but not when critters bust in, and it happened to me. Mark Aram here for Breda Pest Management. My wife and I were shocked to see two beady little eyes in the basement. So gross. Breda kicked those critters out, and we're still protected with their wildlife guarantee, even if they chew a new entry point. No one else covers that. Breda, they handle bugs and critters. BREDA Pest.com.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, with all the things we're reading, seeing, and living through these days, from rate cuts, election season, and now a new administration, now seems like a great time to make sure we have that comprehensive plan in place. You know, the one that covers all our financial bases.
There are occasions throughout the year where I feel like it's critical for people to engage their financial lives and get the information that they deserve from a financial advisory team. And this is one of those times, to be quite frank. So we ask that you call us if you have a minimum of $500,000 in your full portfolio. But we're going to do away with that minimum so that those folks can have an equal opportunity to understand what's in their portfolio as well. Now, you have to have some money, right? I can't help you to build your wealth at work, right? But I sure can help, I believe, with your 401k, IRA management. There's probably 2 or 3 things that'll surprise you that you may want to take action on. So the next 10 people that call in, we'll work up either a portfolio x-ray, or if you feel like you need a full retirement plan, go to unleashyourmoney.com, click on portfolio x-ray, or click on full retirement plan. We think you'll be impressed enough, and we want you to become a client. There's no question about it. We believe that we are a very competent fiduciary advisory team, and we want to offer that to our listeners. Let Hoffman Financial Group actually show you how we perform, and I believe we perform at the pinnacle of this industry.
Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
Americans love using their credit cards, the most secure and hassle-free way to pay. But D.C. politicians want to change that with the Durbin-Marshall credit card bill. This bill lets corporate megastores pick how your credit card is processed, allowing them to use untested payment networks that jeopardize your data security and rewards. Corporate megastores will make more money, and you pay the price. Tell Congress to guard your card, because Americans lose when politicians choose. Learn more at guardyourcard.com. Paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
Atlanta DIY landlords, listen up. If you're exhausted from managing your rental properties all by yourself, my friends at Renters Warehouse Atlanta offering a 90-day test drive. Hire Renters Warehouse to manage your rental property for a low flat monthly fee as low as $115. If you're not satisfied at any time in the first 3 months, you can fire them. Get your management fees back. What do you get for that low flat monthly fee? A dedicated property management team, maintenance coordination, move in and move out property condition reports, advanced tenant screening with a 9-month tenant warranty, professional photography, videography, lease renewal processing and negotiations, online rent collection, monthly owner cash flow statements, and more. Renters Warehouse, so confident you'll love their service, they want an addition for your business. Choice is yours. Keep DIYing or see how Renters Warehouse can make your life easier. Start your 90-day test drive today. Go to rwatlanta.com or call 404-662-2322, 404-662-2322.
Mom and Dad seem different after a European-style holiday on MSC Cruises.
Call us Cloud and Yvette.
The ship had restaurants, shops, and nightlife.
La Galleria.
And of course, American touches, like an aqua park and a sweets shop.
American je ne sais quoi.
Mom, you're from Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, Kevin.
Book now and save up to 30% off, plus kids sale free. MSC Cruises. Let's holiday. To book, visit msccruises.com or contact your travel advisor. Restrictions apply. Ships registered in Panama and Malta.
I've been working my fingers to the bone.
9:25 on the Mark Aram Show. Sad news 3 years ago. We lost Naomi Judd, Grammy-winning Naomi Judd. She died at the age of 76. Of course, the mom of Winona and Ashley Judd. Rest in peace. That was 3 years ago today. Welcome back to the Mark Aram Show. Right after the news at 9:30, we're going to go up to White House correspondent John Decker. The big economic news today, the U.S. economy shrinks by 0.3%. That's the GDP number, first decline since 2022. And I'm hesitant to look, but I want to see what the Dow futures are doing as a result of these new numbers. Down 367 points, NASDAQ 385 points. Apparently, the numbers were lower than expected. The drop was lower than expected. We're going to check in Mike McKee at Bloomberg News coming up at 11:05 on market reaction to the GDP numbers. A little good news economically, at least for our hometown airline, Delta Airlines. Deborah, Delta folks set to get a raise in these troubled economic times.
Yeah, if you're looking to apply for a job, take a look at Delta Airlines. They are once again giving most of their employees a 4% raise, and this is the fourth year in a row that they've given out raises to. The airline says this is an adjustment that reflects its values, and they want to reward performances, by giving their staff some financial incentive. And this comes on the heels of a $1.4 billion profit share that they did in February, too.
Should have been a pilot. Or a flight attendant or a baggage handler or something. Good on the Delta folks. And I actually was surprised to see that because as we heard from travel expert Peter Greenberg, all the major airlines cutting flights and routes right now because of global uncertainty. But congrats to my Delta fam, 4% raise. Good stuff. All right, news, weather, and traffic straight ahead. When we come back, we're going live to D.C. White House correspondent John Decker. He was on Air Force One yesterday with President Trump. We'll get his reaction to the economic news and what President Trump had to say at that rally in Michigan. All that next on The Mark Arum Show.
Hi, I'm Glenn Burns. As a meteorologist for over 40 years, I've seen how weather impacts our homes. That's why I chose windows that withstand our weather extremes and keep my family comfortable. I picked North Georgia replacement windows for my home, and I recommend them for yours. Their Infinity from Marvin fiberglass windows are beautiful, and they're energy efficient. Plus, I know my windows will stay tight and true no matter the forecast.
Infinity from Marvin, replacement windows, yeah!
You do not want to miss this. For the next few days, you can get 3 rooms of carpet clean plus a free hallway from the cleaning pros at Zero Res Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning for only $109 when you mention me, Chris Chandler. That's right, 3 rooms of carpet clean plus a free hallway for only $109. This offer is only available for a few more days, so schedule your appointment now before it's too late. Schedule online at ZeroResAtlanta.com. Zero Res, it's the right way to clean.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 9:30. I'm Judd Hickenbotham. News this half hour brought to you by Dr. Roof. Our top story, watching the reaction to this morning's economic report showing the U.S. gross domestic product falling by 0.3 of a point for the first quarter of this year. That's the first drop of the GDP in the U.S. in 3 years. Chief economist with KPMG, Diane Swonk, says tariff concerns and the front-loading of imports ahead of the duties are impacting the U.S. economy.
I do expect another negative in the second quarter. The first quarter negative is a bit of an anomaly because the underlying economy, we continued to add jobs. We had a negative quarter in 2023 as well, which was not a recession.
And this morning's report, just the latest twist and turn on the Wall Street roller coaster. It sent stock futures plummeting an hour ago, and as the bell rings this morning, boy, they are way down. The Dow is down almost 1 full percentage point, S&P down almost 1.5%, and NASDAQ is down more than 2%. Rough start here after this report on a Wednesday. We will keep you updated on those numbers throughout the day. It is 69 degrees in Midtown Atlanta. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards says, look for a mix of clouds and sun today, plenty of humidity. The high will stick in the low 80s. We cannot rule out an afternoon pop-up storm as well because of that humidity. Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast is coming up. Well, the search continues this morning for a suspect in Gwinnett County following a deadly overnight domestic dispute.
Gwinnett County police were called to a home on Hillsborough Drive by a child inside. Corporal Ryan Winderweedle says that child told dispatchers a man and woman had gotten into an intense argument. By the time officers arrived, the man reportedly killed the woman, then fled on foot.
Believed that they both the victim and the suspect knew each other.
Police are still trying to figure out the woman's exact cause of death as they also try to track down the killer. Aside from the woman, no one else is injured.
The juveniles in the house were unharmed and are unrelated to either the suspect or the victim.
Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
Cobb County Commission this morning once again controlled by the Democrats after they won a pair of special elections Tuesday. Former State Rep Eric Allen will represent District 2. Incumbent Monique Sheffield will keep her seat in District 4. Elections were held after a judge ruled the county's redrawn electoral maps were unconstitutional. They're actually drawn again by the Republican-led Georgia legislature. Democrats now hold a 3-2 majority on the commission. Well, if you've been thinking about adopting a pet, maybe today should be the day.
Many Georgia shelters are waiving or reducing pet adoption fees on this National Adopt a Shelter Pet in Georgia No-Kill Awareness Day. Aurora Velasquez of Best Friends Animal Society says it's about getting the word out.
Some folks don't even know where their local shelter is.
40% of Georgia animal shelters are no-kill, but 20,000 dogs and cats were euthanized last year, largely because people want a pet fast and easy.
You can go online and order up a puppy, and they'll deliver it to your house.
Nationwide, 2/3 of animal shelters are now no-kill. Steve Summers, 95.5 WSB.
And the maker of the popular weight loss drug Wegovy is now making it available to 3 telehealth companies, Him and Hers, LifeMD, and Ro.
We want to meet patients where they are and make sure that we have the option to have Wegovy available to them wherever they seek care.
That is Executive Vice President of Novo Nordisk, Dave Moore. Now, for almost $600, patients will get access to the drug around the clock, plus some form of clinician and online support for nutrition as well. It's 9:33. Now live team coverage of traffic and weather. We start at the WSB 24-hour traffic center and Mike Shields.
Travel advice around the southeast of the perimeter. Multiple vehicle crash. 25 northbound the outer loop right at I-20 exit 46 has 2 left lanes blocked. Bumper to bumper back to I-675. You can take Moreland Avenue to the downtown connect or to I-20 eastbound to avoid those delays. And new trouble on the downtown connector itself. Traffic Trooper Trish says a rollover crash working right now. At least one right lane. 75-85 northbound right at I-20 already jammed back to 166. You use Highway 41 Metropolitan Parkway or I-25 as alternates. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly cloudy, warm and humid today. High 83 with an isolated pop-up thunderstorm through the afternoon. Lows tonight in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy with a few more pop-up showers and storms. High 84. Friday, partly cloudy with scattered afternoon thunderstorms. High 82.
Already 70 degrees in Vining, 71 in Stockbridge, 69 degrees in Midtown Atlanta at 9:34. More news at 10. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Jed Hickenbotham, 95.5 WSB.
In traffic hits.
Traffic getting through in either direction.
The Triple Team Traffic Center has you covered.
Even the bridge over 75 is being held.
Your source for Atlanta's traffic.
Out of Spaghetti Junction along 285 westbound and a crash on Peachtree Boulevard 141 southbound before 285.
Brought to you by the Cool Ray Lifetime Parts and Labor Warranty.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Companies are flooding into our country right now. So your answer to the concern about the tariffs is everything's going to be hunky-dory? Everything's going to be just fine.
President Trump in an interview yesterday with ABC. Coming up in 2 minutes, we go live to the White House. A big day for the president. Correspondent John Decker next on the Mark Arum Show.
Spring is in the air, and a lot of us are looking at things to spruce up our homes, from tweaking or landscaping, a little bit of paint. But how's your roof looking? This is Scott Slade. A new roof can dramatically improve the look of your home. Lots of uncertainties in the economy right now. So my roofer, FGA Roofing, has put together an offer you should consider. They call it the 000 plan. 0 down payment, 0 interest for 12 months, and 0 monthly payments for 12 months. With FGA Roofing, you can get a quote in just a few days and your roof installed in just a couple of weeks. And you can wait to pay until it fits your timeline. FGA Roofing specializes in slate, tile, wood shake, cedar roofs, as well as architectural roofs. The experts at FGA Roofing can lay out all the options for you, whether your roof is aging out or you just want a designer upgrade for your home, or both. FGA Roofing, where you'll get first-rate installation and quality service, always. Just search FGA Roofing to get started with a free quote today. That's FGA Roofing.
Guys, if you're having ED or performance issues and Viagra and Cialis haven't worked, you need to come see Choice Men's Health. Give us a call or visit us online at choicemenshealth.com. Get your love life back and choose Choice Men's Health.
Storm season officially here, friends, and it wreaks havoc on your house and your roof. It's Mark Arum here. If you truly want peace of mind about your roof, and for many years to come, ask Dr. Roof about their lifetime warranty. Dr. Roof's warranty means they have your roof covered for the lifetime of your roof, and if anything comes up, Dr. Roof will take care of it. You never have to worry about a thing. They stand behind it since they've been in business for over 35 years. Now that is peace of mind. All the info online at drroof.com.
When everyone in the family wants something different from this year's vacation, there's only one thing to do. Plan for Pigeon Forge. From gorgeous mountain views, shows, and shopping for leisure lovers to coasters, a 200-foot swing, and hundreds more rides for adventure seekers. Plus Dollywood's epic array of fun. There's plenty of variety for the whole family, all in one place. Unique experiences, quality time, and memories for years to come. Find your personal favorites. Plan your getaway at mypigeonforge.com.
9:37 on this wonderful Wednesday. Welcome back, friends. Mark Arum and crew with you till noon. 10 o'clock hour is going to be massive. Not only am I going to give you a keyword and a chance for you to win $1,000 in the 5K a day bonus blitz, but at 10:18, Christy Brinkley joins us live. Not in studio, Longoria. Longoria wore a suit and tie today, thinking he was going to get...
I got all dressed up, took a shower and everything.
Thought he was going to meet Christy Brinkley, but no, it'll be on the phone. But Stephen Lawson will be live in studio at 10:35, so he's going to appreciate you dressed to the nines. He's going to talk all things politics at 10:35. And then at 11:05, reaction to the GDP numbers that were dropped today. The GDP fell 0.03%, the greatest decline since 2022. The markets are reacting negatively. That Dow's down 500 points right now. NASDAQ is down 400. In the meantime, in between time, let's head up live to the nation's capital. Joining us live, White House correspondent John Decker. John, good morning, brother. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. You know, the way you led off our segment is a good way to lead off our segment, talking about the Dow, talking about financial markets, because that's, of course, this new report showing that GDP contracted in the first quarter 0.3%. And that's something the president will have to talk about today at his cabinet meeting marking the 101st day of his administration.
A couple of questions follow up on that cabinet meeting, John. Do we know when it is, and will it be the open, free-flow cabinet meeting that we've seen, or that closed-door kind of meeting?
Yes, it's going to happen 11 o'clock Eastern time today, so in just a few hours, and it will be open press. So if you're part of the pool today, I was part of the pool yesterday. I traveled with the president on Air Force One out to that event that he had in Macomb County, Michigan. But if you're part of the pool today, prepare for being in the cabinet room for like 90 minutes, because each and every cabinet official will say what their specific department has accomplished during the first 100 days of this administration. That takes time, and the president will likely answer a lot of questions during the course of that meeting.
All right, well, good that it's an open door session. So 11 a.m. we'll monitor it here live on 95.5 WSB. Right. All right, so you were on Air Force One. You've traveled with the president to his rally in Michigan. How did the rally go?
Oh, the rally went great. I thought, as far as the president is concerned, so many people that wait for hours to see the president, to hear the president, to cheer on the president. They're very pleased with how the first 100 days are going. Prior to that event, we were also at another event at an air base not far from Detroit, Selfridge Air Base. And there it was pretty interesting to me, because it was an event in which the governor of Michigan, Gretchen Whitmer, was attending that particular event. And it was interesting to see the president praise Governor Whitmer a Democrat, and she in turn returned the favor. She praised President Trump. So that to me is and she's a smart politician. You know, there are good politicians, there are bad politicians out there. She's a good one, and she's ambitious. So I think it doesn't hurt to be on the president's good side in a state that he won in the November election, and she's won twice. 2 elections as governor of Michigan. So we'll see how she navigates the process if indeed she's interested in running for president in 2028.
John, I believe this was the first rally that the president has held since inauguration. Do we expect more of these on the calendar moving forward?
That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that. I can tell you the staff that traveled with the president on Air Force One, they were so excited. You know, it was like the good old days. I think for a lot of them, the president has been doing these rallies. Hard to believe, Mark, for 10 years now. 10 years. And I've been to so many of them over the years. So it did have that feel of one of those campaign rallies that he held, you know, in his first run for the White House as well as his second run for the White House.
And I've heard, you know, that these rallies revitalize him, right? If
they do.
If he is, you know, gets what's the phrase where you're stuck in the same place all the time. He wants to get out and spread his wings. He'll do the rally and he'll come back totally refreshed. If you don't mind, this is a non-political question, but I'm sure the listeners want to know, what's it like as a journalist on Air Force One? The plane, the seating, do you get fed? Are there beverages? What's it like flying Air Force One?
No, it's a great question. No, I get that question, and it's never old for me. I've done it dozens of times now in my the course of my career covering various presidencies, various administrations. You're sitting in seats that I guess you would consider to be business class seats.
Okay.
We're in the press cabin, which is the back of Air Force One. I got 2 meals yesterday on Air Force One, lunch and dinner. And they treat you, you know, like a first class passenger. So, you know, it's just really nice in terms of traveling with the president of the United States, the leader of the free world, on his plane. It never gets old for me, Mark. I'm never jaded by it. It's always a great experience.
Really cool experience. Are you able to? I'm assuming the Wi-Fi is pretty strong on Air Force One. You could do work while you're flying.
That is such a bad assumption, Mark. There's no for the press corps. Believe it or not, there is no Wi-Fi aboard that plane for the press corps. Now, I can't speak to those who travel, you know, as passengers on Air Force One staff, that type of thing. They may have that Wi-Fi available, but not for the press. So when we land, we're all checking our text messages, our emails to see what we missed during the course of the flight.
Yeah, we got to get Ed Bastian from Delta to hook up with President Trump.
Come on, let's go, Ed
Get that Wi-Fi. All right, well, welcome back. As always, appreciate your coverage, John. Thanks so much, brother.
Thanks a lot, Mark. Appreciate it. Bye-bye.
All right, there you go. All right, so the news there from John, 11 a.m., there will be a cabinet meeting, and the good news, Deborah, it's that open door kind. So it's going to be long, right? But they go around the room. All right, Secretary of State, what do you got? All right, Defense Secretary, you know, but then they take questions from the media, so we get a lot of good stuff there. Speaking of good stuff, I don't know if you guys saw or heard the interview that President Trump gave with Terry Moran from ABC News yesterday. I'm going to play a lot of the audio. There was some good stuff in there, but the clip that went viral. So this is Terry Moran gets a sit-down interview with President Trump. I'm assuming it was before he flew to the rally in Michigan. I don't want to make assumptions there, but he was asked about the deportee that was sent to El Salvador and the gang ties, and this back and forth has to do with the tattoos on Garcia's hand.
He wasn't a member of a gang, and then they looked, and on his knuckles he had MS-13.
There's a dispute.
Wait a minute. He had MS-13 on his knuckles tattooed.
He had some tattoos that are interpreted that way. But let's move on.
Wait a minute. Hey, Terry.
He did not have the letter MS-13.
It says MS-13.
That was Photoshopped. So let me
That was Photoshopped. Terry, you can't do that. Hey, they're giving you the big break of a lifetime. You know, you're doing the interview. I picked you because, frankly, I never heard of you, but that's okay. But I picked you, Terry. But you're not being very nice. He had MS-13 tattooed.
We'll agree to disagree. I want to move on to something else.
Terry, you want me to show you the picture?
I saw the picture.
And you think it was Photoshop? Well,
Here we go.
Don't Photoshop it. Go look at his hand. He had MS-13.
He did have tattoos that can be interpreted that way. I'm not an expert on them. I want to turn to Ukraine,
No,
sir.
Terry,
I want to get to Ukraine.
No. He had MS as clear as you can be, not interpreted. This is why people no longer believe the news, because
When
it's
he was
fake
photographed
news.
in El Salvador, they aren't there. But let's just go on. They aren't there when he's in El Salvador.
They weren't there, but they're there now, right?
No,
but they're
in
now.
your picture.
Terry,
Ukraine, sir.
he's got MS-13 on his knuckles.
All right.
Okay?
We'll take a look at that.
You do
We'll take a
such a
look.
disservice.
We'll take a look at
Why
that,
don't you
sir.
just say, yes, he does, and, go on to something else?
It's contested.
He's like, all right, he's trying to change the subject. Now, if you haven't seen the picture, now the Eduardo Garcia, I'm mispronouncing. Yeah, the deportee in El Salvador. He has a plethora of tattoos on his knuckles, on his fingers, and they can be interpreted as gang tattoos and representing MS-13. So there's a marijuana plant, M, and then there's a smiley face, S, and then there's a cross, which could represent 1. And so, I mean, it's possible that the tattoos he has do represent MS-13. But in the photo released, I don't even call it Photoshop, Deborah. They just put like text over each knuckle trying to symbolize, so they had an M put over his first knuckle and then an S over the second and then a 1. But it was obviously, those aren't tattoos. That was just someone putting text on the picture to say, oh, we think this is MS-13. And I blame President Trump's chief of staff because it's obvious that the letters MS and then the numbers 1, 3 were not tattoos. They were put on the picture to say, well, this is why we think he's representing MS-13. But Susie Wiles didn't apparently tell the president, like, no, those aren't tattoos. The M, the S, the 1, and the 3, those aren't tattoos on. And I can't even blame him because he's a busy dude, leader of the free world, et cetera, et cetera. The chief of staff puts a picture. See, it's MS-13 tattoos. And he just assumed that MS and the 1 and the 3 were part. Terry Moran's like, can we move on to Ukraine? Like, he didn't want to be like, sir, no, come on. But the president would let it go. There was some other stuff in that interview talking about tariffs and Russia and Ukraine, so we'll play some of that when we come back for you. But first, big local story could be the traffic here on 285. Live with the latest, Mike Shields.
Yeah, right now, all lanes being held at times to clear this crash. 285 northbound, the outer loop right at I-20 exit 46. Tow truck trying to load up a vehicle and get it out of the roadway. Right now, jam back to 675. Take Moreland Avenue north to I-20 eastbound as an alternate. And a rollover crash on the downtown connector, 7585 northbound at I-20. That has at least a right lane blocked, bumper to bumper, leaving 166. You can use Highway 41 Metropolitan Parkway. That turns into Northside Drive as an alternate. This report is brought to you by Whole Foods Market. Build a self-care routine at Whole Foods Market. Save 33% on body care and candles with Prime through May 13th. While supplies last, shop in store, online, terms apply. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
I'm Chris Chandler. When you join us Thursday, starting at 5 a.m. for Atlanta's Morning News, breaking stories from overnight, and our exclusive 5-day forecast has an early look into possibly a rainy weekend. How Clark Howard says snackaholics can chow down on the cheap. In Scotts Lake, Georgia this week, tired of all those toxic town halls we've heard about, what it means that more than 150 Georgia communities are declaring themselves cities of civility. Join us starting at 5 on WSB.
April showers bring May flowers, but they may also lead to water inside your home. Dave Baker here for Findlay Roofing, the roof guys. Rain means trouble for your roof, and when it does, think of Findlay first. The perfect match for any roofing issue. And with Findlay, manners matter. They'll treat your home like it's their own with 5-star exceptional service. Plus, Findlay offers upfront pricing, 0% financing, and a free roof analysis. FindlayRoofing.com. Roof.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. We recently received a call from an injured person. The insurance company had offered them $11,000. We took the case over and got more than $2 million in court. Morgan & Morgan.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
I don't know about you, but I'm savoring these last days of spring before scorching summer hits. It's Mark Arum. What does that mean for me? Well, it's still moderately temperate outside. Nice breeze, not too humid, which means I do a lot of my show prep in the backyard. The dog's running around. I've got my laptop out, checking stories and trying to schedule interviews, and I can do that from my backyard because of the amazingly strong Wi-Fi I have from Xfinity. That's right. Whether it's my laptop, my smartphone, my tablet, whatever, all my devices are hooked up to my Xfinity Wi-Fi, and I can go all around the backyard, the front porch. Wherever I go, the Wi-Fi follows me, so I can do show prep while staying outdoors and enjoying all the beauty that Mother Nature has to offer. If you're not yet on board with Xfinity Wi-Fi and Internet, what are you waiting for? Take charge now. Xfinity.com, or you can call 1-800-XFINITY, or even better, check out your local Xfinity store near you today.
Founded by hardworking Georgians in 1992, Builders provides tailored insurance solutions to safeguard workers and business owners from costly accidents. Explore reliable workers' compensation and general liability products at BLDRS.com. Builders, insurance built strong.
Hey folks, it's Belinda. What you have planned this weekend? How about visiting the Lakewood 400 Antiques Market in Cumming, Friday through Sunday this weekend? Grab your spouse or your friends and go on a treasure hunt with over 500 booths. Everything you can imagine, from jewelry, collectibles, sports memorabilia, antiques, furniture, handcrafts, and toys. Every aisle and row is a different adventure. Come on out this weekend to the Lakewood 400 Antiques Market, 1321 Atlanta Highway in Cumming. Visit LakewoodAntiques.com.
Jason Hansen, former CIA officer here, with an urgent warning. The 2025 tariffs are a matter of national security, and retaliation can become an extreme national threat. Every American with a 401k, IRA, or retirement account should act now before it's too late. I urge everyone to protect and secure their hard-earned money with physical gold and silver before we see massive retaliations from China and an extreme market of volatility. I only trust Advantage Gold with my money. They're the #1 precious metals company in America, and they can help you secure retirement with physical gold and silver. To get started, just call 800-324-9902 and request their free gold investment guide and learn how you can own physical gold and silver, tax-free and penalty-free. But don't wait. This threat is real. Call 800-324-9902. Now again, that's 800-324-9902. Call right now and get your free gold investment guide today, or visit AdvantageGold.com. Past performance may vary. Always consult with a tax and financial professional.
When you need quality professional tree work, choose Heath Tree Service. Hi, I'm Jimmy Heath. My father started Heath Tree Service over 60 years ago, and we're still family owned. Certified arborists and experts with trees. Find us at heathtreeservice.com.
I love Wise Guys Pro Wash. Now is the perfect time to pressure wash your home for spring. Clean away all the pollen and grime. Mention me, Chris Chandler, and get $70 off your next service. But hurry, spots are filling up fast. Visit wiseguysprowash.com.
You could call up the president of El Salvador and say, send him back right now.
And if he were the gentleman that you say he is, I would do that.
But the court has ordered you to facilitate that.
I'm not the one making this decision. We have lawyers that don't want to do this.
But the buck stops in this office.
No.
President Trump and Terry Moran from ABC in a long-ranging interview. We'll continue to play some audio from that throughout the broadcast. Welcome to the Mark Arum Show. Monitoring the markets as we get that GDP report in. The numbers were down bigger than expected. This is Diane Swonk, chief economist at KPMG.
Many shipments from China have come to a standstill. That's going to not only push up prices, but the activities of front-running tariffs in and of themselves have a payback. And so we're now very worried that we will actually see a recession by the end of this quarter and as we move into the third quarter.
So again, the GDP, or the gross domestic product, dropped 0.3%, which seems minuscule, right? 0.3%. But apparently that's the biggest drop in GDP since 2022, which is a sharper decline than analysts had expected. The markets are reacting negatively. Dow's down 700. NASDAQ's down 441. Oh, no, Deborah. The Dow's down below that 40,000 mark that I feel safe about. But we'll continue to monitor the markets. Who knows? Scott Bessent could say something today at the cabinet meeting or President Trump, and then you tune back in at 4:30 p.m. and as the market closes and everything's in the green, we'll keep an eye on the markets for you and what the experts say about GDP. She mentioned the ports and shipments from China coming up at 11:12. We're going to go live to the Los Angeles ports. Carter Evans there. Going to join us with the very latest on what's going on with incoming and outcoming shipments. And I eventually think we're going to see some sort of reaction here in the Georgia ports in Savannah and Brunswick, et cetera. This is a sad story. Longoria, you remember it was last month. I was fascinated with that bald eagle camera out in California where the mom had 3 eggs and they hatched, and one unfortunately died not too long after it was born. Sad news, Deborah. The other 2 eaglets are no longer with us.
Well, this is sad news, and it is eagles, but I thought it was the same one, too. It is not the one we were watching out in California.
Oh, it's a different one.
This is actually, this is an eagle cam in Shepherdstown, West Virginia. So it's the same concept, it's a camera watching some eagles, but it's a different family. But it's still just as sad. There were 2 baby eaglets in a nest, and a big storm came through, knocked the nest out of the tree, and the poor little eaglets didn't survive. Now, both of the adult eagles seem to be okay. They've been flying around the tree, but both of the babies passed.
It's still sad. But if it was the California ones, I would have been a lot sadder. And actually, it makes sense because those California eaglets they can now fly. Like they are spreading their wings, they can fly. So if there was a storm, they could have flown away or sought safety. But that is sad. All right, I didn't even know about the West Virginia one. How many live eagle cameras are there?
Maybe every state should have
Every
one.
state should have
a
one.
lot of them.
Yeah, are they? All right, I got to find a new one. I've yet to see an eagle on my bird camera in the backyard. By the way, remind me, no one. This is to myself. I got to pick up more bird seed. We're running low on it.
Okay. I saw a bald eagle in Tampa on the way to Tampa.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Fantastic. All right. All right, when we come back, we've got developments, pretty serious developments with what's going on in the Mideast. Mike Huckabee, you might remember him. He is now the U.S. ambassador to Israel. He had some strong words to Iran about them developing nuclear weapons. When we come back, we're going to go to Jerusalem. Jordana Miller is going to join us with the latest there. And we're going to be joined by the amazingly talented Christy Brinkley. And I'm giving you a keyword in the 5K Day Bonus Blitz. All of that happening next on the Mark Air Show.
Scott Slade here from iRoofer, FGA Roofing. Are you considering a new roof but not sure when you're going to be able to get it into the budget? FGA Roofing is offering a 000 offer this month. 0 down payment, 0 interest for 12 months, and 0 monthly payments. Search FGA Roofing for a free quote today.
I hate getting stuck in Atlanta traffic almost as much as I hate overdraft fees. Hey, it's Smiling Mark McKay. Your checking account should help you with day-to-day expenses and not charge you fees. A Chime checking account allows you to manage your money better. I've overdrafted my account. I was in a jam and I was embarrassed. With Chime, you have peace of mind. Chime covers members up to $200 with 0 fees. Visit Chime.com and get started with a qualifying direct deposit. Had an overdraft? Don't worry or be ashamed. Chime has spotted members over $32 billion. Move toward a better financial future with Chime. Open a Chime checking account in 2 minutes. Get started today at Chime.com. Chime feels like progress.
Banking services and debit card provided by the Bancorp Bank, N.A. or Stride Bank, N.A. Members FDIC. My Pay line of credit provided by the Bancorp, N.A. or Stride Bank, N.A. Spot Me eligibility requirements and overdraft limits apply. My Pay eligibility requirements apply. Not available in all states. Credit limits range from $20 to $500. $2 fee applies to get funds instantly. Out-of-network ATM withdrawal or OTC advance fees may apply. Fees apply at out-of-network ATMs. Bank ranking and number of ATMs according to U.S. News and World Report 2023.
Hot water heater just not cutting it anymore? You don't get that piping hot shower you want every morning? Hey, it's Mark Aaron back from my friends at Reliable Heating and Air. Check out this amazing deal. New water heater, only $29.99 a month, and make no payments for 3 whole months. Or you can go tankless, only $59.99 a month, and you can enjoy that lovely, endless hot water. Same day water heater installation guaranteed, or they pay you $300. Get that new water heater now. Save a ton of money. Just go online to reliableair.com.
WSB Atlanta, WSB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hey everyone, it's your buddy Shelly Winter here. Join me this Saturday at noon for the Car Guys with Kevin Deutsch from Butler Lexus of South Atlanta. Buy or lease, fix or sell, everything you want to know about cars, we will cover Saturday noon to 1 right here on 95.5 WSB.
News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hi there, good morning. It is 10 o'clock. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by TE Certified Electrical Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We start with this. The economy shrank last quarter for the first time in 3 years. Jim Ryan has details.
U.S. companies in the first 3 months of the year were stockpiling foreign-made goods in hopes of beating Washington's new import fees. The result is that first quarter GDP fell 0.3% on an annualized basis. The last time the U.S. saw negative economic growth was in the first quarter of 2022, a 1% blip that quickly turned around.
And when it comes to jobs, some 62,000 jobs added last month, according to payroll processor ADP, and that was well below the 125,000 that analysts had forecast in a report that comes just ahead of Friday's monthly jobs report from the Labor Department. All right, the markets are reacting, and it is not good. The Dow down 725 at 39,801. The Dow's down almost 2%. NASDAQ's down more than 2.5%, and the S&P's down more than 2% here in the 10 o'clock hour as we start the day. All right, your weather, partly cloudy, warm and humid. Afternoon highs around 83. An isolated pop-up shower cannot be ruled out today, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. She'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast straight ahead. One person is dead, and a search is underway right now for a suspect in an overnight shooting in Gwinnett County.
It happened at a home in the 4100 block of Hillsborough Drive, just off Lee Road, south of Snellville. Corporal Ryan Winderweedle tells me it all started with a call to 911.
A juvenile in the home had called and said there was a domestic argument between a man and a woman in the house.
That argument led to the man killing the woman. Police haven't revealed her cause of death. The suspect then fled on foot.
It's believed this was an isolated incident between the suspect and the victim, who both knew each other.
The kids inside aren't related to the victim or the suspect. Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
A judge has now set the trial date for the father of the Appalachia High School shooter for September 8th. Prosecutors say Colin Gray bought the gun that his 14-year-old son is accused of using in the shooting last September. The judge ruled that pretrial publicity warrants a change of venue, but has yet to rule on whether the trial will be moved or if a jury from outside Barrow County will be brought in. We'll be watching. There is a slowdown of cargo ships bringing goods into the United States. Bookings are down nearly 50% from a year ago. Correspondent Carter Evans talked with the executive director of the Port of Los Angeles.
With a 145% tariff, a container of Chinese goods worth $100,000 will now cost importers an extra $145,000.
With information coming out of Washington seemingly by the hour, it's tough to get a line of sight on what's next. Inventory on hand right now in the United States will last for about 6 to 8 weeks. After that, shelves will be bare. We won't be able to buy as much online.
And the Port of Savannah here in Georgia is the largest single container terminal in the Western Hemisphere. Property owners in Fulton County, this might interest you. A Georgia state court has given a property tax lawsuit the green light to stop what it calls an unfair tax scheme.
The lawsuit accuses Fulton County and 4 other cities, including Atlanta, of using illegal methods to assess properties, overriding fair market value assessments using 2015 purchase prices, but only applied this to properties sold that year. The state Supreme Court denied the suit's class certification last year, which would have allowed for settlement negotiations, but a superior court now says it can move forward since more than 1,000 taxpayers are involved here. I'm Bloomberg's Monica Ricks for 95.5 WSB.
Have you been thinking about running the Atlanta Journal-Constitution Peachtree Road Race this year? Well, today is the last day that you can register. Our registration will close tonight at 11:59. More than 50,000 runners take part in that 10K road race every year on the 4th of July. Time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Ashley Frasco's in the WSB 24-hour traffic center. Good morning.
Good morning, Sabrina. I have my eyes on a rollover crash downtown that is starting to wrap up, though, on 7585 northbound just before I-20. It looks like maybe only working in one right lane now. Had blocked all but one left lane, so they are making improvements there, but big delays back at 166 Langford Parkway. Another trouble spot on the southeast perimeter. Looks like it just moved to the right. 285 north at Flat Shoals has you slow back at 675. And ahead of that, traffic trooper Clay says a car fire. 2 right lanes are blocked. 285 north at Memorial Drive. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly cloudy and humid today. High 83. A stray
pop-up shower can't be ruled out. Lows tonight in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy with pop-up showers and thunderstorms, high 84. Friday, partly cloudy with scattered storms, high 82.
All right, we have 70 degrees in Lawrenceville, 69 right now in Winder, and 71 degrees in Peachtree City. We'll have more news at 10:30, breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Welcome back to the show and a good Wednesday morning to you. Mark Arum here, you there. It's 10:05, 5 minutes after 10 o'clock. This is the Mark Arum Show, live Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to noon on 95.5 WSB. The whole family with us today. Deborah is the executive producer. Longoria, the stoic Eskimo on the other side of the takeout window. Vinny Drip screens your calls. Pay attention, folks. In just a few minutes, I'm going to give you a keyword in the 5K day bonus blitz. Another chance for you to win 1,000 doll hairs. And then right after that, Christy Brinkley is going to join us live at the show. Very excited to have Christy Brinkley. She's got a new book out called Uptown Girl, Deborah, which references, obviously, the Billy Joel song, Uptown Girl, which apparently was written about her, I'm assuming.
Yeah, she's in the music video and everything.
There you go. So Christy Brinkley is going to join us live. 10:35, political analyst Stephen Lawson in studio. And obviously, we're going to monitor what's going on with the cabinet meeting, which is going to be held at the White House at 11 a.m. So much to talk about today on the program. But I want to start the coverage this half hour in Jerusalem. Joining us from ABC News, it's Jordana Miller. Jordana, good morning. Thanks for your time. The American ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee, said this week that if the Islamic Republic of Iran refuses to give up its ambitions to build nuclear weapons, President Trump, quote, won't be dragged into a war. He'll lead it, end quote. Strong words there from Mike Huckabee. What's been the reaction in the region?
Well, I think that statement has been largely applauded here in Israel. As you know, the Israeli Prime Minister has been really adamant for more than a decade that the greatest threat posed to Israel and the West is a nuclear-armed Iran. And so, that credible threat of U.S. military action is what many Israeli leaders have said is really the best way to get Iran to the table and to actually negotiate. And that is what we're seeing, right? We're seeing Iran come to the table and talk about a deal for the first time after saying for many years that they would not.
Now, previously they did come to the table and we did have an agreement with Iran, but that fell apart under the first Trump presidency. What might a second deal, how would a second deal differ from the first one?
Right. Well, we know that the talks between the U.S. and Iran, whether you want to call them direct or indirect, that they are making progress, and both sides seem pretty optimistic. We don't know what the details are, but as you said, former President Barack Obama did negotiate a deal between the U.S. and Iran. It fell apart when President Trump pulled out, and he was unhappy with certain aspects of that deal, which gives us a clue as to what, the president now may be negotiating. First of all, he wants a deal that is a long-term deal. He always complained that the first Iran nuclear deal, it didn't have enough teeth, and the sunset clauses were rather short, that is 10 or 15 years instead of 20 or 25 years. So he's likely put on the table a deal that will be long-term, that will serve American interests for a long time. He also complained that there was no limit really on Iran's R&D, that is their ability to produce faster centrifuges and their ballistic missile program. There were no limits there. And those are key components not only of Iran's nuclear program, but when it comes to the missile aspect, the ballistic missile, Iran still has not been able to come up with a warhead, a way to deploy a nuclear weapon, even though it has a lot of enriched material right now. The other outstanding issue, which didn't exist back when Barack Obama negotiated with Iran, is that now now Iran has large quantities of uranium enriched to 60%. That's just a step away from weaponized levels of around 90. What's going to happen to that material, right? Is it going to be destroyed, given to a third party? And what will be the levels that they can still enrich, right? Under President Obama, it was just under 4%.
Interesting. ABC's Jordana Miller in Israel joining us here on the Mark Arum Show. The threat of United States military might, obviously a strong negotiating tool, but I would imagine maybe some pressure from our allies in the region against Iran to get to the table and do this. The Saudis, perhaps, the Jordanians. Any word on who else might be joining these talks?
Well, we know that Oman is involved in the, indirect talks here. They're at the table, but certainly, what has brought the region together in a kind of unpredictable alliance, that is Israel, some moderate Arab countries, and Saudi Arabia, who still, the Saudis don't have a official diplomatic ties with Israel, but what has brought them all together is this fear of Iran's nuclear program and, frankly, Iran's support of terror through the region, right? Its proxies, which right now Iran's proxies have been beaten back and they're in their worst shape in really 2 decades, right? Hezbollah was beaten back by Israel. Hamas is suffering a lot. The Houthis not only took strikes from Israel, but now, of course, President Trump has had a very aggressive campaign against the Houthis. So the region here is looking to President Trump, right, to help rein in Iran and basically take away its ability to produce nuclear weapons, something that could really threaten the entire region, not just Israel.
Interesting. Very important story to continue to monitor. Jordana Miller, ABC News. Jordana, as always, thanks for your time.
Okay, thanks. Talk soon.
Really important story, and the headline to me is that we are gathering allies in the Mideast right now, and Mike Huckabee, the newly minted ambassador to the United States to Israel, heading the charge there. Monitoring the markets with the GDP numbers, Dow's down 630, NASDAQ's down 410. We are now getting reaction from the White House from those GDP numbers. Elena Treen just moments ago at the White House.
Well, we have heard now from the president himself directly and some of his economic advisors. I want to start, though, with what President Donald Trump said. He posted on social media, essentially attempting to blame former President Joe Biden for these poor economic numbers. I want to read for you some of what he wrote. He said, quote, "Our country will boom, but we have to get rid of the Biden overhang. This will take a while. Has, in all caps, nothing to do with tariffs, only that he left us with bad numbers. But when the boom begins, it will be like no other. Be patient." So essentially here you're hearing the president saying, I came into office on January 20th. This is not my fault. It's Biden's. We have to get through that, and try to argue that this has nothing to do with tariffs. Of course, we know that's not exactly the case. The economy, Republicans on Capitol Hill, economists, a lot of them warning about the negative impact that the tariffs are having on the United States economy. I also just want to point you, though, to what we heard from his trade advisor moments ago, Peter Navarro, who was speaking on CNBC. He said, essentially, noting what Vanessa said, that the import surge, stocking off on imports in anticipation of these tariffs, played a role in these numbers and the contracting of the economy. And then he also said some of it he believes had to do with DOGE and the reducing the size of the federal government.
All right, Elena Treen just moments ago at the White House reacting to the new GDP numbers, a drop of 0.03%, which seems minuscule, but it's the biggest GDP drop since 2022. Wall Street is reacting negatively. How about some positive news? A chance for you to win $1,000 right now in the 5K a day bonus blitz. Here we go, friends. 10 a.m. keyword is fresh. F-R-E-S, fresh. Enter the keyword fresh into the WSB Radio app or at WSBradio.com/cash. You have until 10:30 a.m. to enter the keyword, win $1,000. The keyword is fresh, as in so fresh and so clean. Don't forget, if you get a phone call after 10:30 from a number you don't recognize, pick it up. Could be us telling you won $1,000. The 10 a.m. keyword, once again, is fresh. F-R-E-S, fresh. Good luck, friends. Before we check traffic, a reminder, coming up after a quick break, you can play the sounder. It's fine. Coming up after the break, often they call her a poor woman's Ashley Frasco. We're going to talk to Christy Brinkley live on the exactly, Ashley. What's going on at 285, buddy?
You know, I did listen to a lot of Billy Joel this weekend.
Heck
Does
yeah.
that get me closer to Christy Brinkley?
Absolutely.
All right, well, right now, travel advisory with car fire cleanup. The car fire is out, but they're blocking 2 right lanes, 285 north at Memorial Drive, quickly getting slow back toward I-20. And finally, recovering on that southeast perimeter, 285 east coming over from 675 from earlier troubles. Crash clearing downtown, 75-85 northbound before I-20. And look out for construction delays headed through Fairburn. That's 85 south as you travel down towards Sonoy Road. They're in the left lane. Traffic brought to you by Lear Capital. Our financial system is cracking under pressure. Your retirement's at risk. Take control. Lear Capital offering a free Sky High Silver Report and Precious Metals IRA guide at betternestegg.com. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
If it's happening on the streets of Atlanta,
the Cobb County Medical Examiner's Office identifies 57 sets of cremains.
if it's happening on the roads leading to Atlanta,
Massive project at 285 and Georgia 400 has been a big improvement.
we've got it covered.
Atlanta jurors convict a former Customs and Border Protection officer.
Your 24/7 news source.
Covering the stories that impact you.
Tune in throughout the day to stay up to date.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's breaking news station.
Hey, it's your buddy Shelley Winter here, co-host of The Car Guys with my good friend and brother, Kevin Deutsch, from Butler Lexus of South Atlanta. Whatever you want to know about buying, selling, leasing, or maintaining a vehicle, Kevin has your answers.
That's right, Shelley. For over 40 years, I've sold, leased, fixed, and financed pretty much every make and model. I've seen it all. If you have any car questions, we'll have the answers every Saturday at noon.
It's The Car Guys, Saturdays at noon on 95.5 WSB, brought to you by Butler Lexus of South Atlanta.
When it comes to defending down bikers' rights, trust is everything and results matter. Hey, it's Eric Von Hessler for Steel Horse Law, local motorcycle injury attorneys who ride. They specialize in protecting bikers who've been hurt. The mega firms will send an investigator or a paralegal, not a lawyer. With Steel Horse Law, you'll meet directly with your own attorney to get you back on your feet, medical bills paid, back to work, and your case resolved. Schedule your free accident evaluation at steelhorselaw.com.
Coming up from the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra, a Delta classical concert featuring Tchaikovsky's delightfully atmospheric First Symphony, Winter Daydreams. Your orchestra welcomes piano virtuoso Marc-Andre Hamelin to perform Bartók's Third Piano Concerto, which overflows with dazzling pianism and good cheer. The program begins with Weinberg's raucous rhapsody on Moldovan themes, May 15th and 17th at Symphony Hall. Details at aso.org.
Spring is in the air, and the team at Ragsdale wants you to be ready for the hot days ahead. It's Ashley Frasca. You know, right now, you can take up $1,700 off a brand new Carrier home comfort system. And Ragsdale backs up their work with their own trusted 15-year parts and labor warranty on your new system. 0 repair costs for the next 15 years. If your system just needs a pre-summer tune-up, that's no problem for Ragsdale, offering a $79 AC tune-up. You can't beat that for peace of mind. Ragsdale is the name I know you can trust for heating, air, plumbing, electrical, and insulation needs. I say my friends at Ragsdale because they really are. My family's trusted their knowledgeable technicians for years, whether it's been for a new furnace, plumbing problems, installing new electrical outlets, or adding blown-in insulation. They're always on time and work with my busy schedule. And hey, they just surpassed 10,000 reviews with a 4.9 Google rating. Get to know them at ragsdaleair.com or give them a call. Ragsdale, the name I know you can trust.
Attention men, are you suffering from ED or PE? Here's an important message from Choice Men's Health.
I'm Dr. Katz and I'm the Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Are you performing the way you want to in the bedroom? If the answer is no and you've tried Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra and were disappointed, then you need to come see us immediately. If you don't see results on the first visit, then there's no charge. Many of our patients have medical conditions such as diabetes, hypertension, obesity, and prostate problems. I'm happy to say that we have 98% success rate with all our patients. Our customized solutions will allow you to perform within 10 minutes and last an hour and even longer. You can regain your love life and tackle your ED and PE problems. Guys, your partner will never complain again. Our clinic has the most affordable prices, so if you visit other clinics and you're not completely satisfied, you need to call Choice Men's Health.
Regain your love life regardless of your age or medical history. Choice Men's Health guarantees results on your first visit or you pay nothing. Call now, 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170.
When everyone in the family wants something different from this year's vacation, there's only one thing to do.
plan for Pigeon Forge. From gorgeous mountain views, shows, and shopping for leisure lovers to coasters, a 200-foot swing, and hundreds more rides for adventure seekers. Plus Dollywood's epic array of fun. There's plenty of variety for the whole family, all in one place. Unique experiences, quality time, and memories for years to come. Find your personal favorites. Plan your getaway at mypigeonforge.com.
Hey, it's Shelley Winter here from my good friends at PalmettoSleep.com. Let's talk about a serious business, sleep apnea. I suffer from it, and whether you've been diagnosed with it or afraid you have it, I have the solution. Palmetto Sleep is here to give you your life back. They make it easy to get help for sleep apnea because living without a good night's sleep is simply no way to live. Palmetto Sleep offers a custom-fitted oral appliance that opens your airway so you naturally breathe the way nature intended. The best part is they offer virtual consultations and in-home sleep testing. No overnight stays at a sleep center. Plus, Palmetto Sleep has all the doctors that you will need. Most appointments are virtual, and it's all covered by your private medical insurance. Don't suffer from another sleepless night or daytime fatigue like I do. Visit PalmettoSleep.com now. Visit PalmettoSleep.com. That's PalmettoSleep.com.
10:20 on the Mark Arum Show. That would be a horrible FM DJ. I just stepped all over the first line of that song. Lindsey Buckingham, Holiday Road. Of course, the theme song to National Lampoon's Vacation. We are awaiting Christy Brinkley to call in and join us here on the Mark Arum Show. But while I have a second, I remind you that the 10 a.m. 5... Keep the song going, Longo. Yeah. I need music here. The keyword in the 5K bonus blitz for the 10 o'clock hour is fresh. F-R-E-S, fresh. You have until 10:30 a.m. to enter the keyword fresh under the WSB Radio app or WSBRadio.com/cash. One lucky winner is going to win $1,000. The keyword is fresh, F-R-E-S-H. And don't forget, if you get a call after 10:30 from a number you don't recognize, don't send it to voicemail. Literally, it could be us telling you won $1,000. So the keyword is fresh. All right. Vinny Drip, let me know when Christy Brinkley gets on the line. She's a supermodel. She doesn't have to be punctual, right? Is that the rules? I guess that there's special rules for supermodels. Anyway, hopefully we will be joined momentarily by Miss Christy Brinkley. But I want to update a Supreme Court story that has local ties here in the metro area. You might have heard this story on Atlanta's Morning News. Supreme Court yesterday heard arguments in the case of an Atlanta family fighting back after federal agents raided their home by mistake. ABC's Andrew Dybert reports the Kurtz ruling is expected in June.
Back in 2017, FBI agents burst into the family's Atlanta home with flashbang grenades, mistaking it for the nearby house of a suspected gang member. The family is seeking restitution from the FBI. Lower courts tossed out their claims due to sweeping legal immunity for government officials. The government arguing, despite the mistake, the agents never violated a government policy. Justice Neil Gorsuch not buying that.
No policy says don't break down the wrong house.
The plaintiffs say agents caused $5,000 in damage to their home on top of the emotional trauma.
All right, so I had totally forgotten about that story, but now it's all the way up at the Supreme Court. One more story to get you caught up to date on. Consumer confidence has fallen to a 5-year low amid the trade war rattling Americans' businesses, families as they brace for price hikes. ABC's Lana Moyes has more.
The White House says deals are in the works that will level the global trading field for American business, but so far, no word of any official negotiations with China. China's foreign ministry releasing a video vowing not to kneel down to Washington. In the toy industry, growing concern about a shortage this coming holiday season, with many stores depending on China for the hot items. More than 60% of toy companies in the U.S. say they've already canceled orders. Nearly half say they could go out of business within weeks or months if the tariffs continue.
Yeah, and apparently it's a ghost town at the West Coast ports coming up at 11:12. We're going to be joined by Carter Evans from CBS in L.A. He is at the ports right now. Apparently empty containers going back and forth between the United States and China. All right, so it looks like Christy Brinkley bailed on us. So playing Christy Brinkley is executive producer Deborah Green. Deborah, I'm just going to fire away some questions, and you answer them as Christy Brinkley would have answered, okay?
Oh, dear. All right.
All right, Christy, I fell in love with you in the in the movie Vacation. What was it like working with Chevy Chase, specifically that pool scene?
Oh, it was such an honor to be with Chevy Chase. You know, I got a call from my agent and they said, hey, would you like to be in a Hollywood movie? And I had only done music videos at that point. So I thought, oh, what a great opportunity.
It was. And so many, you stole so many scenes in that. Was it a red Ferrari you were driving in that?
Red Ferrari. I got to keep it too.
Oh, wow. Christy Brinkley dropping exclusive nuggets here on the Mark Arum Show. Talk about your relationship and eventual marriage to Billy Joel. Were you a fan of Billy Joel's? How did that relationship come together?
You know, my agent called me and they said, hey, we're looking for somebody to be in a music video. And I really didn't know what music videos were at the time, but it was a job. And so I thought I would take it. It was really my first dive into acting. And then I just met this gorgeous piano player on set and I fell in love at first sight.
Gorgeous. All right. Christy Brinkley calling Billy Joel. All right. Truth serum here. You can have front row tickets to Billy Joel concert or an Elton John concert. Christy Brinkley, what are you choosing?
Well, you know, I always had front row tickets to a Billy Joel concert, so I will sit front row at Elton John.
That was okay. Thank you, Deborah Green, as Christy Brinkley. I don't know what happened to her, but that was a question that we would often ask growing up. You know, because it's so weird that they came on the scene pretty much the same time and had monstrous success. Talking about Billy Joel and Elton John. And the question, the schoolyard question was like, who's better, Billy Joel or Elton John? And to be honest, in New England in the 70s and 80s, it was Billy Joel. Now, you couldn't go into a bar, not that I was in a bar when I was 12, but Piano Man, that was on the bar, that was on the jukebox all the time. But I think now in 2025, and no offense to Billy Joel, in fact, I saw both of them, I believe, at Phillips Arena. They were in concert together. I think Elton John wins that argument now, right?
For me, the catalog of Elton John's a little more diverse, so I would always go to Elton John.
Yeah, we had that conversation, and we had the Michael Jackson Prince conversation musically.
Ooh, well, musically, it's Prince.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
But back then it was Michael Jackson. It was Thriller. It was everything.
Yeah, but if you're talking just about music, Prince played every single instrument. Michael Jackson didn't play instruments.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Deborah, you can join us next half hour as Prince.
Okay.
Fantastic job. All right, anyway, I'm not even going to plug her book. I was going to hold it up on the live stream, but I was shot down by a beautiful woman again, Longoria. We're used to it. All right, quick break. When we come back, political analyst Stephen Lawson. He's handsome. That'll make up for it. He's live in studio talking all things politics. Governor Kemp signing some big laws. Final reminder, you've got 3 minutes to enter the keyword in the 5K day bonus splits. The keyword is fresh, F-R-E-S-H, fresh. Enter that into the WSB Radio app or WSBradio.com. You can win $1,000 in mere minutes right here on the Mark Arum Show.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group, to discuss one of the biggest blind spots that people face when saving for retirement. And it's a head scratcher. Chris, how do so many people not know what they're invested in?
That's the biggest flaw that everybody runs into. They think they know what equities they have, they think they know what bonds they have, but they really don't know how those mutual funds or how those index funds are performing in conjunction with one another. So, you know, I would liken this to a big pot of soup and we're just throwing all the ingredients in the refrigerator in this thing. It's not very good. It's just a mishmash of stuff. And sometimes you like the way it tastes. Sometimes you don't. And when you don't know why. You don't know if you got too much chicken in there or too much vegetables in there or what's going on. And I ask every caller that comes in for an initial consultation, do you know how your portfolio is broken down? And they say, well, I've got, 20 or so options in my 401k, and I just picked 2 of them or 3 of them. I thought I needed some international. I thought I needed some U.S. equities. I thought I needed some bonds. And they're just guessing. So you have to absolutely know what you're invested in, and that's where we will run the 401k portfolio x-ray for you, because that'll break it down. If you're not proficient at investing, and don't understand this world, we will walk you through it. Not knowing what you're invested in is a big hindrance to growing and protecting your money. We will run a portfolio x-ray for you and educate you on exactly what's in your portfolio.
Set up a time to get your complimentary portfolio x-ray today. Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858. That's 404-737-3858, or book online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
It's Diamond Month at D. Geller & Son Jewelers, and that means this month, buying diamonds comes with even more diamonds. All through the month of April, when you spend $9.95 or more, you'll receive a pair of gorgeous hand-matched diamond studs absolutely free. At $9.95, you get a quarter-carat pair of studs for free. $24.95, we'll give you half-carat studs. And at $99.95, you're going home with a full-carat pair of studs on us. All April long in Kennesaw, Sandy Springs, and online at dgeller.com.
Shop seafood savings at Whole Foods Market. Get 20% off sustainable wild-caught fresh halibut fillets with Prime through May 6th. Pair this light flaky Maine with fresh spring veggies. While supplies last, shop in-store or online. Terms apply.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 10:30. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by your Metro Atlanta Amco dealers. Let's start with your money and the economy. The U.S. economy shrank in the first quarter. The government reports GDP fell 0.3% January through March. Analysts are laying the blame on tariff uncertainties and large front-loading of imports ahead of the most severe duties imposed by President Trump. Correspondent Kelly O'Grady has more.
This is a little bit of a tricky one. We're going to have to see over the next few quarters how this shakes out because it was kind of offset by that import surge. That's the little bit of the weird part. I think the next quarter is going to be really telling. Do consumers pull back on spending?
And the markets don't like the news this morning. The Dow's down 470 at 40,057. So the Dow's down more than a full percent. NASDAQ's down almost 2%. And the S&P's down almost 1.5%. Your weather for today, partly cloudy, warm and humid. Headed for an afternoon high of 83. An isolated pop-up shower is possible this afternoon, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. She'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up in just over 2 minutes. A woman is dead in Snellville, and police right now searching for a suspect in her death. Gwinnett Police Corporal Ryan Winderweedle says that a child inside that home on Hillsborough Drive actually called 911.
When officers arrived, they located a female deceased inside the home, and they were informed that the suspect had just fled on foot.
Now, police are not releasing the woman's name or her cause of death. The woman and her alleged killer did know each other. The children inside that home are not related to either one of them. The Gwinnett County Solicitor General launching a new special victims unit.
The new unit will serve victims of sensitive misdemeanor offenses, including sex crimes, vehicular homicides, stalking, pandering, and prostitution. Gwinnett County Solicitor General says the special victims unit is a significant step toward ensuring every victim in Gwinnett County receives the attention and care they deserve, especially teens. The new team will also serve as the primary point of contact for all animal cruelty and neglect cases prosecuted in Gwinnett County State Court. Cheryl Castro, 95.5 WSB.
Ukraine announcing this morning that it's prepared to sign a landmark mineral resources deal with the United States. Is expected to allow the U.S. access to Ukraine's wealth of minerals. This comes as the White House continues to push for a peace deal to end the fighting between Ukraine and Russia. Looks like a lot more people are becoming interested in technical schools these days. Georgia's technical college system seeing a 9% increase in enrollment so far this year. Commissioner Greg Dozier says the growth is in many fields, including nursing and cybersecurity. Last year, they graduated their largest class ever with more than 40,000 students. Let's take another look at the markets. We're in the red. Dow down more than a full percent. NASDAQ's down almost 2%, and the S&P's down almost 1.5%. Time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Ashley Frasca is in the WSB 24-hour traffic center this morning with a look at your roads.
Delays continue on the outer loop into Cobb County, rolling 285 east and northbound. Car fire cleanup in a couple of right lanes, 285 north at Memorial Drive. You got some slow traffic through Lawrenceville. They're doing construction on Highway 316 westbound at Duluth Highway. Left lane reported blocked there, and down on the south side they're working in the left lane on 85 southbound just before Highway 74 Sonoy Road. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly cloudy, warm and humid today. High 83 with an isolated pop-up thunderstorm through the afternoon. Lows tonight in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy with a few more pop-up showers and storms. High 84. Friday, partly cloudy with scattered afternoon thunderstorms. High 82.
77 degrees in Marietta, 72 in Johns Creek, Powder Springs. You have 75 degrees. We'll have more news at 11 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
He's the guy at the desk next to you.
So if you can't handle your real face, then don't tell me how to handle my life.
He's your co-pilot for the ride home.
They have a lot more money now because they stopped kneeling.
Eric Von Hessler.
Things are going to get broken.
Eric Von Hessler.
Today at 3.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
I want to leave that as a big fat secret because I don't want to ruin a negotiation. But I do worry.
President Trump in an interview yesterday with ABC News. When we come back, we'll get reaction from political analyst Stephen Lawson and some big local political stories. 2 minutes away on The Mark Arum Show.
Hi, it's Tim Andrews for My Roofer FGA Roofing. Are you considering a new roof but not sure when you'll be able to get it in the budget? FGA Roofing is offering a 000 offer this month. 0 down payment, 0 interest for 12 months, and 0 monthly payments. Search FGA Roofing for a free quote today.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
Preparing to sell your home can be costly and time-consuming. Skip the hassles of a traditional home sale and sell your home stress-free with a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. Hi, it's Chris Chandler. Say goodbye to the stress that comes with showings, open houses, and costly home repairs. My friends at Mark Spain Real Estate will sell your home fast and for maximum value. With over 12,500 five-star reviews, trust the top real estate team in the U.S. to sell your home for top dollar. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today and start packing.
Hey folks, it's Belinda. What you have planned this weekend? How about visiting the Lakewood 400 Antiques Market in Cumming, Friday through Sunday this weekend? Grab your spouse or your friends and go on a treasure hunt with over 500 booths. Everything you can imagine, from jewelry, collectibles, sports memorabilia, antiques, furniture, handcrafts, and toys. Every aisle and row is a different adventure. Come on out this weekend to the Lakewood 400 Antiques Market, 1321 Atlanta Highway in Cumming. Visit LakewoodAntiques.com.
10:36 here on the Mark Arum Show. I'm already skipping ahead an hour. Welcome back, friends. Coming up in 30 minutes, Mike McKee from Bloomberg News is going to join us. Market reaction to the drop in the GDP numbers. Dow's, it's better now. It's down about 500 points. NASDAQ's down 345. We'll continue to monitor the markets. And again, Mike McKee from Bloomberg News joins us live in 30 minutes. Picking up some breaking news during the news break there from Sabrina.
Where is Hector?
Supermodels will. Deborah, we have rebooked Christy Brinkley for 11:18 on the Mark Arum Show.
Yeah, you know what they say. Supermodels don't get out of bed for less than $25,000. So she's just running a little bit behind, but they said that we can have her in the 11 o'clock hour.
All right, here's what I'm going to do, Longoria. I'm going to ask Christy Brinkley the same questions I asked fake Christy Brinkley, and we'll see if the answers are anywhere close to what Deborah provided. Cool. All right, so I'll listen. She's a supermodel. I'll forgive her. He could have been a supermodel, but for some reason he decided to go into politics. Political analyst Stephen Lawson joining us live in studio. How are you, my friend?
Hey, happy Wednesday, Mark. Great to be here.
I'm sorry we are not going to have Christy Brinkley live in studio for you here. You're too young to remember Christy Brinkley, though, aren't you?
Yeah, I might be too young.
Did you ever see National Lampoon's Vacation?
Oh, yeah.
All right, so she was the hottie in the Red Ferrari? Yeah, all right.
Great movie.
There you go.
Vegas Vacation is a personal favorite.
It is so good. We've had Nick Papadopoulos on the show. He lives in Atlanta. The actor
Does
that
he
played
really?
Nick Papa. Yeah, he's fantastic. All right, let's talk local politics. Governor Brian Kemp set to sign the school safety bill. First off, tell us what's in the bill.
Yeah. So obviously, this was a package. The governor actually signed earlier this week school safety measures. Obviously, your listeners will remember the tragedy that happened at Appalachia High School. Last year, and so there was a concerted effort in the General Assembly to look at this issue around school safety. Obviously, it's an ongoing conversation. In the previous 2 years, the General Assembly and the governor have included over $100 million for additional school resource officers. That was, experts said that was one of the reasons that the tragedy was not worse at Appalachia, because those SROs rushed in, those heroes, to help save the children. But what they did here is looked at things like, alarm systems, making those mandatory in school, data sharing, so that when a problem student moves from
Transfers from schools,
transfers district, they can share that information.
Well, that was one of the missed opportunities with Appalachia, is that the suspected shooter had just transferred into the school, and there wasn't the data that followed him at the same time. There was a lag in that.
That's right. And so this bill will really help tackle that and give schools more resources, more tools to be able to track and monitor those kids and get a head start. It also allows state officials to look into those terroristic threats that are made to help them decipher more quickly what's real and what needs to be addressed. So lots of really good things.
In this bill, forgive me for not knowing, the panic button for teachers, that's in it.
Correct. And that is now mandatory. So those are going to be funded and in schools.
Because I know they were already in certain districts, but to make it statewide is a phenomenal win there. And obviously, it's still raw in Appalachia High. I have friends that are parents of students there, and it's still not back to normal, obviously. And we had an update this morning on Atlanta's Morning News. The suspect's father is going to be charged. We don't know if there's going to be a change of venue or not. I know that's been requested both for the father and the son to get it out of that county, but we'll monitor that. Let me ask you a question. So Governor Kemp signed this 2 days ago. Why stagger the signings of the new laws? Is there any logistical reason why it's not just day one and the governor comes in and pens all these new laws?
Yeah, I mean, I think, certainly each situation is different, right? I think you want to give all of these bills that the General Assembly has put so much time, effort, resources, and energy into drafting, passing, to give them their day in the sun, right? To give them their opportunity. But particularly with this instance, right, you want to honor these families and these parents who have lost so much with a special day, with that bill signing, to make sure they understand that the General Assembly is trying to address their concerns and to stand with them.
Gotcha. So just instead of all the laws one day and some of them getting lost in the mix, you separate. All right, that makes sense. You want, especially a bill like that, of that importance, you want that to have its own moment in the sun. Political analyst Stephen Lawson joining us live in studio here on the Mark Arum Show. I know there's still time left in his term, but is this a legacy law? Looking back on Governor Kemp's tenure, will historians be like, oh, he signed that school safety law. That's his legacy.
I think it's a huge step in the right direction. I want to give the speaker the how we are doing our part. Obviously that was a failure, a massive failure at this level, and it's just a reminder how important parenting is to the future success of our children.
Looking ahead, is there anything that you think might be in the pipeline for Governor Kemp's final year in office, something that he might want to get across the finish line before he exits the mansion?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a couple things that I would keep an eye on. One, and we've talked about it on your show, this continuing to cut the state income tax. There's a lot of appetite, I think, in the General Assembly to do that, and to get us closer to zero. I don't think we'll get there because, there's always that balance. We've got to have the revenues coming in. Obviously, you've talked about it. We've talked about it. There's a lot of uncertainty at the national level. That affects the state revenue forecasting. But at the same time, Governor Kemp, through his leadership and the General Assembly's leadership, have amassed about a $16 billion surplus for our state.
Knock on wood. That keeps going. Knock on wood.
Yeah. So, but that money's being returned in terms of rebates, tax cuts, investments in education, healthcare, infrastructure. So it's about that balance. And I think, for his final year, that's something to take a look at. And then really, on the economic development front, he's been a strong proponent of economic development. A lot of these mega projects, right? We think of Hyundai and Rivian and all of those things. It'll be interesting to see if he's able to continue to attract those big projects.
As a political analyst, I want to get your take on this. I don't know. Have you seen or heard the video yesterday from President Trump and Terry Moran from ABC talking about the MS-13 tattoos on the knuckles? Are you familiar with this?
I saw it, but I didn't see the whole clip.
Okay, I'm going to play the audio here
because
I want to get your take on who's to blame for this. Again, this is yesterday. President Trump, Terry Moran, ABC.
He wasn't a member of a gang. And then they looked, and on his knuckles, he had MS-13.
There's a dispute
Wait a minute. He had MS-13 on his knuckles tattoo.
He had some tattoos that are interpreted that way. But let's move on.
Wait a minute. Hey, Terry.
He did not have the letter MS-13.
It says MS-13.
It was Photoshopped. So let me
That was Photoshopped. Terry, you can't do that. Hey, they're giving you the big break of a lifetime. You're doing the interview. I picked you because, frankly, I never heard of you, but that's okay. I picked you, Terry. But you're not being very nice. He had MS-13 tattooed.
We'll agree to disagree. I want to move on to something else.
Terry, do you want me to show you the picture?
I saw the picture. We'll
and you think it
agree
was
to disagree.
Photoshopped? Well,
Here we go.
Don't Photoshop it. Go look at his hand. He had MS-13.
He did have tattoos that can be interpreted that way. I'm not an expert on them. I want to turn to Ukraine, sir.
Terry,
I want to get to Ukraine.
No. He had MS as clear as you can be, not interpreted. This is why people no longer believe the news, because
when
it's
he was
fake
photographed
news.
in El Salvador, they aren't there. But let's just go on. They aren't there when he's in El Salvador.
They weren't
Take a look
there,
at the
but
photograph.
they're there now, right?
No,
but they're
in your
now.
picture.
Terry,
Ukraine, sir.
He's got MS-13 on his knuckles.
All right.
Okay?
Well, we'll take a look at that.
You do such a disservice.
We'll take a look at
Why
that,
don't you
sir.
just say, yes, he does, and, go on to something else?
All right, so for folks that are unfamiliar, the deportee has tattoos on his knuckles, and they could be gang related. They made a connection to each knuckle tattoo he had, and on the picture that was released, there was print put on the top of the picture with an M, an S, a 1, and a 3, but it was obviously put on there after. Those weren't tattoos. But President Trump, my question is, who is responsible for giving that information to President Trump? And I don't want to say embarrassing him, but he was clearly wrong. Is that the chief of staff? Like, who should fall on the sword for not telling President Trump the truth about the tattoo situation?
Yeah, no, that's an interesting question. And to be honest with you, I don't know. I'm sure the White House staff is probably trying to track that down right now, right? And it's a really important question, making sure that the president of the United States has the correct flow of information. Like that's critical. But it's very clear, I think, based on the last few weeks, the strategy that the White House has taken, this is a hill that they're willing to
100%.
die on. And I think obviously that you saw some of that in that interview. And I think they're right. I mean, I think the media and the mainstream media wants to litigate, the due process, and certainly those are valid questions. But at the end of the day, the central question is, was this person in this country legally or not? And if the answer is no, the vast majority of Americans agree that he should not be here anymore.
Understood. But and again, planting that flag, I get it. And listen, they're not backing down. He was asked about, you're the leader of the free world. Why can't you get him? And he's like, we're not going to do it. But doesn't that water down when the president is just wrong about the tattoos themselves and tripling down on it? Doesn't that take away some of the strength of the argument? Like, well, gosh, if he doesn't even know that those tattoos aren't his knuckles, what's the situation here?
Yeah, you got to have the correct information.
Yeah.
You've got to be, if you're going to die on the hill, you got to have the facts, right? And I think up to this point, the president and his team had. I think that this is something they're probably going to want to look at in terms of where that information came from.
One final question for you,
Yeah.
Stevie. I don't know. Did we get confirmation yesterday? David Perdue got confirmed in the cabinet.
Yeah, David Perdue, obviously former U.S. Senator, was confirmed as ambassador to China. That's a really big job for him. It'll be interesting given his history with Governor Kemp how Georgia fares on that. But congratulations to him, and that's a big win for Georgia.
Really Georgia heavy administration right now. So many folks from Georgia in the second Trump administration.
Yeah, you think about David Perdue, Senator Kelly Loeffler at SBA, and then former Congressman Doug Collins at Veterans Affairs. Yeah, Georgia heavy. Georgia is well represented.
Shelley Winter, soon to be a member of an ambassador somewhere.
Are we breaking news today?
No, yeah. I'm sorry. I spoke out of turn, Shelley. I'm sorry. That's supposed to be hush hush. Stephen, great stuff as always. Folks want to find out more about you and your outfit. Where can we hit you up?
Yeah, I'm a principal at Denton's and at Stephen Lawson _.
There you go. Good to see you, my friend. If you want to stick around, it's a phone interview, but Christy Brinkle will be joining us next half hour. All right, when we come back, we'll update our top local stories. We'll check market reaction to the GDP numbers. But first, let's go back to Atlanta's only 24-hour traffic center and Ashley Frasca.
Watching the delays, they continue on the east side perimeter with car fire cleanup. The lanes are open. 285 north at Memorial Drive. You're still on and off the brakes coming up from Flat Shoal. Some delays downtown as well. 75-85 northbound between 166 and I-20. And you're rolling through the work zone pretty slowly. They're working in the left lane of 85 south before Sonoy Road, Highway 74. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
On air,
Online.
on the app,
Where you get your news.
is where you'll win.
Download the WSB radio app now and maybe win $1,000.
That is awesome.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
5 words, 5 times a day, every
This
weekday.
is Jill from Roswell, and I just won $1,000.
Just enter the word at WSBradio.com or on the WSB radio app.
Your next chance to win is coming up at 12
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
on 95.5 WSB.
Home is where the heart is. It's your happy place, right? But when bugs and critters bust in, not so happy, and it happened to me. Hey, it's Mark Aram from my pals at Breda Pest Management. Boy, did they come to our rescue. When we moved to our new home, we were shocked to see 2 beady little eyes in the basement. So gross. So what do? We called Breda to kick those critters out. They found and secured a bunch of entry points. Next, they trapped and removed the critters, disposed of their nesting, disinfect and deodorized, all like they were never even there. And check this out, guys. Under the Breda Wildlife Guarantee, if critters chew new holes in your home, you stay protected at no additional cost. Only Breda guarantees old and new entry points, while others only cover what they originally sealed. Breda, they handle bugs and critters the best in the biz. BREDA Pest.com.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
News is temporary, but your financial plan shouldn't be. I'm Wes Moss, and at Capital Investment Advisors, we're focused on helping retirees invest for income. This means building and managing a portfolio that delivers a steady stream of income, regardless of the scary headlines of the day. If you're ready to shift your focus from the headlines to your core pursuits in retirement, reach out to our team at yourwealth.com. That's YOUR wealth.com.
That spot on the ceiling, it's only gonna get worse. Hey, it's Dave Baker from my experts at Finley Roofing, the roof guys. Finley now has 0% financing available, so it's even easier to get your roof replaced. FinleyRoofing.com. Roof.
City of Hope, a place where seemingly impossible blood cancers become treatable, curable. With more than 19,000 bone marrow transplants performed, we're the largest and most successful program in the U.S., making major breakthroughs in treating leukemia, lymphoma, and rare blood cancers, personalizing a treatment plan right down to your DNA. Now the experts striving to make the impossible a reality are closer to home. Learn more at cityofhope.org.
In these uncertain economic times, you want the most bang for your buck. Am I right? You want to make sure the money you're spending gets results. It's Mark Aram back from my friends at Advanced Hair. That's what you get at Advanced Hair. You get bang for your buck, and you get a guarantee that Advanced Hair is going to regrow your hair. This is not a pill or a lotion subscription that helps retain what you have. Instead, Advanced Hair offers the proven guaranteed solution that regrows your hair where it's currently gone. Quick, simple, one-day treatment, and your real hair begins to regrow the very next day, and it's guaranteed for life. Takes just one visit, but first you need a free consultation, guys. Schedule now, 470-660-HAIR or advancedhair.com. And if you move forward, you get $250 off plus 250 free grafts. That's bang for your buck. One-day treatment, life-changing results, your own natural hair guaranteed to grow, advancedhair.com.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for mouth-watering meals and appetizing ingredients. Our low prices add up to big savings, plus over $600 in digital coupons each week, and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. At Kroger, you always get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
You can save big on 12 packs of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or Canada Dry. Select varieties or buy 2, get 2 free with your card. Limit 8. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Looking to get organized in style? The brand new Artisan Custom Closet showroom is now open near Trillet Studios in Fayetteville. Come experience the Artisan difference. Meet with a designer for your free consultation and start your custom project today. See more at artisancustomclosets.com.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to Big Wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular and get your second month free for a limited time. You'll get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month. Here's Veronica and Jackie, real customers.
I didn't know that I could get something for a lot less money that was actually better than who I was with before.
Anytime anybody complains about their cell phone bill, we say, you've got to check out Consumer Cellular.
And now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free when they use promo code SECONDFREE. Just call, click, or bring us your bill and see how much you can save. Because when it comes to Big Wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and use code SECONDFREE to get a free second month. Real people pay to share their opinions in this ad. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
10:55 on the Mark Arum Show. Welcome back, one and all. Coming up after the news at 11, Mike McKee is going to join us live from Bloomberg News. Reaction to the GDP numbers, consumer confidence numbers. Wall Street still down, but not as bad as it was. Dow, by the way, Deborah, back up over 40,000. So it's at 40,117 now, which makes me feel better. All right, 2 Coke stories. Let's start with Coca-Cola in the news. Speaking of uncertain economic times, Coke facing a boycott where, my friend?
Yeah, can you guess what country is deciding to drink a lot less Coca-Cola these days?
I would say China.
Well, that's a good guess, but no, actually Denmark. Sales are down after the Danes are boycotting the product because, well, you know, President Trump wants to annex Greenland. Greenland is part of Denmark, so they're like, you know what, we're just not going to drink any Coke, and they've been enjoying a local soda there called Jolly Cola. Those sales have soared by Jolly Cola. Sales have gone up by 13% in Denmark.
Not RC Cola. Not RC. It's going to be all right. I guess, you know, I never thought about that, you know, with these reciprocal tariffs and the growing anti-U.S. sentiment from some nations that, you know, some global brands like a Coke or McDonald's might see international sales dip. So that makes sense. The other Coke story, we got our drug czar here, Andrew Longoria. Another massive cocaine bust, Deborah.
Yeah, the Coast Guard seized about 10,000 pounds of cocaine in the Atlantic Ocean. It's estimated to be worth about $74 million. This was in international waters, not too far from the Canary Islands. But the Coast Guard kind of saw this boat. They're like, it's suspicious. They went to go check it out. They busted the boat with 5 smugglers and, of course, all the coke on board, too.
How much coke again?
10,000 pounds.
And they estimate 70-something billion?
74 million.
Is that accurate street value, Longoria?
Sure.
With inflation?
Inflation, tariffs.
He pled the
There's a 10% tariff on it.
Yeah, the narco tariff. All right, good stuff, Deborah. All right, Sabrina's got your news, weather, and traffic. When we come back, Mike McKee from Bloomberg News going to join us live. Social media is active at Mark Arum and at WSB Radio.
For many women in our community, support for our physical and mental health feels out of reach.
When your workday is long.
And your budget is tight.
And your village is busy.
And the road between home and help is a 6-lane highway with no crosswalk.
Northside Hospital believes women deserve better.
Northside is rolling up our sleeves and getting to work.
We got your house call.
Heard.
Learn more at northside.com/herd.
All those flowers you planted up the driveway this spring look great, but your garage door? Yikes! Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons Garage and Entry Doors. This spring, replace that old, ugly garage door with a beautiful, modern, energy-efficient door that will add to your home's value and curb appeal. At All Four Seasons, we offer fast service, affordable prices, and a huge selection of styles, colors, and custom features. When trust matters, trust us. All, the number 4, seasonsgarages.com.
We're all getting long in the tooth, friends. Am I right? What about your heating and cooling systems? Are they aging? Well, let Reliable Heating and Air protect your AC from breakdowns and your budget. Just $14.99 a month. Reliable Heating and Air, licensed, bonded, and insured. Amazing service. I can tell you firsthand, Reliable is the best. They're licensed, bonded, and insured. No deductibles, no claims or paperwork, no service fees, just amazing coverage for as low as $14.99 a month, and next day installation guaranteed, or they pay you $500. So protect your aging heating and cooling system with the amazing folks at Reliable Heating and Air. Just $14.99 a month gives you amazing peace of mind. Get all the info and schedule a consultation online at reliableair.com. That's reliableair.com. Don't wait until your aging systems go kaput. Get your protection now at reliableair.com.
WSB Atlanta, WSB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk. News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
Hi there. Good morning. It is 11 o'clock. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by the Next Generation Xfinity 10G network. This just in Calhoun, a DE agent shoots a man and woman on Outlet Center Drive. This happened around 11:30 last night as the Special Operations Unit was trying to stop a vehicle. And during the attempted stop, they tried to hit the agent head on. That agent opened fire, hitting the man and woman inside the vehicle. No officers were injured. The FBI is now investigating. We'll bring you more on this developing story as we get it. Your weather for today, partly cloudy, warm and humid. Afternoon highs around 83. A pop-up shower cannot be ruled out, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. A domestic dispute at a Gwinnett County home turns deadly, and the suspected killer is now on the run.
Gwinnett County police were called to a home on Hillsborough Drive by a child inside. Corporal Ryan Winderweedle says that child told dispatchers a man and woman had gotten into an intense argument. By the time officers arrived, the man reportedly killed the woman, then fled on foot.
Believed that they, both the victim and the suspect, knew each other.
Police are still trying to figure out the woman's exact cause of death as they also try to track down the killer. Aside from the woman, no one else is injured.
The juveniles in the house were unharmed and are unrelated to either the suspect or the victim.
Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
The father of the accused Appalachia High School shooter now knows when he'll go to trial.
Colin Gray is facing a host of charges, including second-degree murder. His son Colt Gray is the alleged shooter in the attacks that killed 4 people and injured 9 others. Colin Gray is accused of giving his son access to the weapon used in the shootings. Judge Nicholas Prim has set September 8th as a start date for the trial, though it will not be before a Barrow County jury. Prim has determined that pretrial publicity warrants a change of venue, but he has yet to rule on whether the trial will be moved or if a jury from outside Barrow County will be brought in. Colt Gray's trial date has not yet been set. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
Gwinnett County launches a new special victims unit. It's going to serve victims of sex crimes, vehicular homicide, stalking, pandering, and prostitution. The new team will also serve as the primary point of contact for all animal cruelty and neglect cases prosecuted in Gwinnett County State Court. Cobb County's commission will retain its Democratic majority after this week's special election. Former State Representative Eric Allen and incumbent Commissioner Monique Sheffield secure seats representing District 2 and 4, respectively. This gives the commission a 3-2 Democrat majority. This all follows a battle over the legality of the county's electoral maps, which the commission attempted to draw on its own using a home rule. Cobb County Superior Court judge ruled last year that was unconstitutional, calling for a redo of the November votes for those 2 seats. Today marks 50 years since the end of the U.S. involvement in the Vietnam War, a war that grew increasingly unpopular among Americans. Over 3 million Vietnamese died. Over 56,000 American service members lost their lives. And U.S. stocks are sinking following a discouraging report suggesting that the U.S. economy may have shrunk at the start of the year. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams in the WSB 24-hour traffic center. He has a look at your roads.
Just found some new trouble in Buckhead. It's a stall in the center lane. Good morning, Sabrina. This is on 400 southbound, just before Sidney Marcus Boulevard, exit 1. You're already slowing back toward Lennox Road. Just had a crash move off to the right into Cobb County, 285 southbound, the Interloop Memorial Drive, exit number 41. And jammed up through Lawrenceville with that construction on 316 westbound, right around Duluth Highway, knocking out of the left lane. So just bear with those delays throughout the day. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly cloudy and humid today, high 83. A stray pop-up shower can't be ruled out. Lows tonight in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy with pop-up showers and thunderstorms, high 84. Friday, partly cloudy with scattered storms, high 82.
It is 74 degrees in Kennesaw, Tucker, and Roswell. We'll have more news at 11:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
I'll run this town to be near you.
11:04 on this extremely busy news day, Wednesday. Welcome back, friends. Mark Arum and crew with you till noon. Coming up in just a couple of minutes, Christy Brinkley is going to join us live. Carter Evans going to report live from the ports in L.A. about the lack of traffic heading to and from Asia from our West Coast ports. Kim Commando at 11:35 talking tech. The big economic news today, though, the GDP numbers were released. Joining us live from Bloomberg News, our buddy Mike McKee. Mike, good morning, my friend.
Good morning. I can't believe that I'm in between Christy Brinkley and the audience here.
Isn't that, well, don't worry. Listen, you can now forever say I opened for Christy Brinkley.
There you go.
GDP numbers down. It seems small, 0.03%, but the market's not reacting positively. What can we learn from that drop in GDP?
Oh, it's very weird. There's so many different parts of this, moving parts to this GDP report that it's hard to analyze, but it's not as bad as it looks, and it's not as bad as the market is taking it. Basically, what happened was we had a huge surge of imports because companies and consumers were trying to buy things ahead of tariffs. And that cut GDP by 5.5%.
Oh, okay.
So we would have much stronger GDP without the tariff threat. Now, a lot of that ended up in inventories. About half of that 5% came back in through inventories, sitting there waiting to be sold. But we did see big increases in business spending as they tried to get all this stuff. And there's some other quirks in there. But the thing you have to look at is a data point called real final sales to domestic consumers. And what that does is take out the inventory and trade numbers. And that was up 2.3%, which is a relatively good number. It's a little low, but relatively good. So not as bad as it seems. If I were the president, I wouldn't be tweeting about the 0.3%. I would be tweeting about the 2.3%, and hope people took that as a message.
Interesting. That makes sense, though, with so many folks buying imports, right, to get ahead of the tariff threat. That might make the numbers a little bit wonkier and show that dip when in a normal economy we might not have seen that dip. All right, so maybe some good news there, underlying good news with the GDP numbers. Try to spin this in a positive note, though, Mike. U.S. consumer confidence fell in April to an almost 5-year low. That does not sound good.
Well, the problem is we don't know if people are going to do what they say. They say they're depressed, but are they going to stop buying? We got personal spending numbers at 10 o'clock this morning that were relatively strong, up 0.7%, even more than in the month of February. So people were spending through March. Now, March we only had the tariffs on steel and aluminum, stuff like that, not the stuff that you and I are buying on a daily basis. So we don't know what happened in April yet. We're just going to start getting those numbers in the next few days. And if people cut back on spending after trying to buy stuff in advance, then we're going to have problems with the economy. And the second quarter GDP won't look very good. So while we do have some concerns with what people are telling the confidence people, we don't know yet whether they're going to act on that and stop spending, and that's going to be the key.
Interesting. Mike McKee joining us from Bloomberg News here on the Mark Arum Show. I heard earlier this morning on CNN, the CEO of Ford Motor Company, Jim Farley, was on talking about the economic situation, the tariff threats, and the overall uncertainty in the economy. And he was asked why Ford in particular is seeing a surge of folks buying their automobiles. Listen to what he had to say.
What some of this might be is people rushing to buy ahead. So you can't, I guess, is what you're saying. You can't tell if there's going to be weakness because you're taking from the future right now. That's the unknown.
We're just seeing we're seeing a lot of people respond to our employee pricing, and Ford is an American company. I think, you know, for many years, you know, half of the vehicles sold in the U.S. are imported. Maybe not everyone knew that. So it's hard for me to tell. I think we're in the first or second inning here of a 9-inning game. But so far for us in the auto, you know, the revenue's been pretty strong. We'll report earnings next week, and you'll see that as a trend. But as you said, there are a lot of ins and outs when it comes to tariffs.
So that's the Ford CEO this morning. I like the baseball reference, by the way. You know, we're in the first or second inning. So we saw consumers running out to Ford dealerships, whether it was the employee pricing or what have you. But we saw it here locally in Atlanta. Car dealerships had bang up sales leading up with the tariff uncertainty. So it's just a lot of unknowns, right? Like what's going to happen if the tariffs come in, and what is the consumer spending going to look like moving forward?
Yeah, we've heard from a lot of CEOs, especially from the car companies, that people were running out. We knew that car sales were extraordinarily strong in the month of March because people were trying to get ahead of tariffs. And as Jim Farley was saying, almost every car has enough imported stuff in it that you could say it's not an American car and subject to tariffs. So it was a smart move to go out and buy a car then. But lately, this week, of course, we're starting to get we're in the heart of earnings season. And a lot of companies are noting that they are already preemptively going to be raising prices. So that's where the question comes in on the other side is not just concern about tariffs, but concern about inflation and whether you want to pay more for the same thing. Employee pricing, just another word for buy this ahead of tariff sale.
Exactly. Mike McKee, Bloomberg News, as always, great insight. Thanks for breaking the numbers down for us, buddy.
Sure.
There you go. Mike McKee from Bloomberg News. This just popping. Sources to CNN say Ukraine is expected to sign a mineral deal with the United States today. That would be huge. President Trump holding a cabinet meeting. Supposed to start at 11 a.m. I don't know if it has started yet, but we'll monitor that, see if any big news pops out of there. Big news locally here is what these tariff impacts might have on the Georgia ports. Haven't seen much yet, but we are seeing out west on the West Coast. Joining us live from CBS. It's correspondent Carter Evans on the Port of Los Angeles, bracing for a dramatic slowdown. Carter, good morning. Thanks for joining us from the left coast.
Happy to be here.
Obviously, a lot of Asian imports coming to the West Coast, not the East Coast, with the tariff uncertainty and the reciprocal tariffs. What is going on now at the West Coast ports, specifically L.A., and what are they predicting in the future?
Okay, so I think we can take it first at the consumer level, right? When you go out to the store right now, you probably haven't noticed too many differences in prices. I know I've seen a few items on Amazon that are more expensive and that sort of thing, but for the most part, the tariffs haven't really hit consumers. So for an indication of when that might happen, we look to the ports, the places where all these items from China come in. And what we're finding right now is that the number of shipments coming from China into West Coast ports is dramatically down. And over the next couple of weeks, it's expected to decline 30% and then 40%. So we're looking at almost a 50% decline on ships coming in from China. Now, when will that translate to empty store shelves? Well, that depends on when current supply that's in warehouses here in the U.S. runs out, but I'm told we have about a 6-week supply. So the empty store shelves are coming if something isn't worked out soon.
So eventually we, as the consumer, will see an impact on store shelves. We're not seeing it right now because, as we just heard from the Bloomberg reporter, that, you know, a lot of retailers stocked up in anticipation of this. But ground level, a 50% less shipments coming in from China. What does that mean to the dock workers in L.A.?
Hey, it means a lot less overtime, things that they depend on. I think it's going to impact truckers significantly because they'll be driving fewer loads. So those are going to be the initial impacts. I talked to the executive director of the Port of LA, and he says he doesn't see layoffs coming just yet, but that could be a possibility if this drags on.
Interesting. Now, what we've been focused on the imports, right? The ships coming in from China to LA. What about exports? Are we seeing those slow down as well?
Yes. So what I'm hearing now is exports to China, because China's imposed 125% tariff on U.S. goods, and some of the main products that we send over to China are agricultural products, things that our farmers grow in the Midwest. And those items are going out in much, much smaller numbers now as well. So all of that produce and materials, soybeans, things like that are backing up here in the U.S. because China just isn't buying them as much.
Yeah, we've been hearing alarms being sounded by, you mentioned soybeans, soy farmers freaking out right now because if China doesn't buy them, up to 40% of the soybean exports from the United States go to China. Where else can they sell this perishable goods? So there's a lot of hand-wringing there. When it comes to the Port of Los Angeles specifically, Carter, what are the biggest exports and imports there? Is the biggest export the agricultural stuff, and what are we getting mostly as far as imports are concerned?
Well, exports is a number of things, but imports clearly are coming from China because it's actually the busiest port complex in the Western Hemisphere because of the number of ships that it has coming from China and its proximity to China here on the West Coast. This is the direct route to send items in, and that's why you're seeing such a significant drop in numbers. But as you mentioned before, I believe your Bloomberg correspondent mentioned as well, a lot of retailers saw this coming. So for the first 3 months of the year, they were really stocking up, and we've seen a big jump in the number of ships coming into West Coast ports for the first 3 months of the year as people stock up in advance of these tariffs. I talked to one toy store owner. She owns 6 small toy stores here in the Southern California area, and she basically took all her personal credit cards and maxed them out and bought $500,000 worth of goods that she figures at this point will get her stores through the summer. But if something isn't solved within the next couple of weeks, she says for her, the holiday shopping season could be in jeopardy because generally speaking, retailers place orders for holiday items in the month of June. That's pretty much the time you have to do it. That gives the factories time to ramp up, produce these items, get them to the port, get them across into the U.S. and process and onto store shelves by the holiday shopping season. And she says if she isn't able to place those orders in June, really she runs the risk of having empty shelves for holiday shopping, because even if she makes the order, say, in August, they won't arrive here in time.
Carter Evans, correspondent from CBS, live from Los Angeles. Carter, thank you so much for the live update. Really appreciate it.
Sure thing.
And we're going to continue to monitor if it's already impacting the West Coast ports. What could it do to the East Coast ports here in Georgia, specifically in Brunswick? All right, coming up next, yes, she is going to join us. We'll see if she is a better interviewee than Deborah Green was, pretending to be the one and only Christy Brinkley. She's next live on the Mark Arum Show. But first, let's check back with some traffic hotspots out there. Live with the latest, Alex Williams.
Hey, good morning, Mark. Yeah, watching one in Buckhead right now. Only the left lane and the right shoulder getting by a stall. Police hero on scene. Hopefully they clear this. 400 southbound just before Sidney Marcus Boulevard exit 1. You're seeing the brake lights back toward Lennox Road. A couple of trouble spots all cleared up to the shoulder into Cobb County. 285 southbound, the inner loop between the Highway 78 Stone Mountain Freeway area and Memorial Drive, but still some volume there. And downtown a little sluggish. Connector northbound, Langford Parkway up to Freedom Parkway. Traffic brought to you by Lear Capital. Our financial system is cracking under pressure. Your retirement is at risk. Take control now. Lear Capital is offering a free Sky High Silver report and precious metals IRA guide at betternestegg.com. Don't leave your future to chance. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
In Atlanta, there is always something happening.
Tanker truck crashed into the median.
The Triple Team Traffic Center has you covered.
No traffic getting through in either direction.
Helping you on your commute.
Avoid the area at all costs. Take Highway 155 or Highway 4223.
Brought to you by the Cool Ray Lifetime Parts and Labor Warranty.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Atlanta DIY landlords, listen up. If you're exhausted from managing your rental properties all by yourself, my friends at Renters Warehouse Atlanta offering a 90-day test drive. Hire Renters Warehouse to manage your rental property for a low flat monthly fee as low as $115. If you're not satisfied at any time in the first 3 months, you can fire them. Get your management fees back. What do you get for that low flat monthly fee? A dedicated property management team, maintenance coordination, move in and move out property condition reports, advanced tenant screening with a 9-month tenant warranty, professional photography and videography, lease renewal processing and negotiations, online rent collection, monthly owner cash flow statements, and more. Renters Warehouse, so confident you'll love their service, they want an addition for your business. Choice is yours. Keep DIYing or see how Renters Warehouse can make your life easier. Start your 90-day test drive today. Go to rwatlanta.com or call 404-662-2322, 404-662-2322.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, with all the things we're reading, seeing, and living through these days, from rate cuts, election season, and now a new administration, now seems like a great time to make sure we have that comprehensive plan in place, you know, the one that covers all our financial bases.
There are occasions throughout the year where I feel like it's critical for people to engage their financial lives and get the information that they deserve from a financial advisory team. And this is one of those times, to be quite frank. So we ask that you call us if you have a minimum of $500,000 in your full portfolio. But we're going to do away with that minimum so that those folks can have an equal opportunity to understand what's in their portfolio as well. Now, you have to have some money, right? I can't help you to build your wealth at work, right? But I sure can help, I believe, with your 401k, IRA management. There's probably 2 or 3 things that'll surprise you that you may want to take action on. So the next 10 people that call in will work up either a portfolio x-ray, or if you feel like you need a full retirement plan, go to unleashyourmoney.com, click on portfolio x-ray, or click on full retirement plan. We think you'll be impressed enough, and we want you to become a client. There's no question about it. We believe that we are a very competent fiduciary advisory team, and we want to offer that to our listeners. Let Hoffman Financial Group actually show you how we perform, and I believe we perform at the pinnacle of this industry.
Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
11:20 on this Wednesday edition of the Mark Arum Show. You know this song, National Lampoon's Vacation. Without further ado, joining us live on the Mark Arum Show, the legend that is Christy Brinkley. Christy, good morning. Thanks for your time.
Good morning. Happy to be here.
I'm holding up your book on the camera right now, live at WSBRadio.com, Uptown Girl. I'm going to get to the book in a second, but as a child of the 70s and 80s, Vacation, Christy Brinkley, iconic moment. How did you wind up in that film?
I just was lucky, I guess. I got a call to go in and meet a couple producers, and I walked in the door, and they said, "Great, you're perfect. Well, you've got the job." And then I got to go off to the great Wild West and shoot a movie with Chevy Chase, Beverly D'Angelo, Michael Anthony Hall when he was just a little kid, and because my scene was one of the few indoor scenes, they didn't want to film it until it rained. So I was on location for 6 weeks.
Wow.
And I got to watch them filming the movie. I would do my driving scenes. Then I would go horseback riding. Then, they'd shoot another scene, and then I would, go whitewater rafting, hiking. I had a blast.
Sounds like a great experience.
It was.
Do you remember what hotel? I'm assuming it was a hotel the pool scene was filmed in. Do what state that was in?
Yeah, I don't remember exactly where that was, but we got to stay in like little log cabins by babbling brooks and roadside motels, and it was a really fun experience.
Christy Brinkley live on the Mark Arum Show. The book, Uptown Girl, now available at booksellers everywhere. I'm looking at page 251, talking about some lyrics that Billy Joel wrote. Let's start with your relationship with Billy Joel. How did you guys first meet?
We met in St. Bart's. It was his very first holiday since his divorce, and I was there on a modeling assignment, and I had just finished the day, and the hairdresser and I had stopped into a little place in Gustavia, the main town on the island, to grab a bite, when somebody from the crew came running in and said, "You guys, Billy Joel's at the PLM," which is the hotel we were staying in. And so Hops, my best friend and hairdresser, said, "Oh my God, we've got to go." And I was like, "Who is this Billy Joel?" He said, "Oh, he's great musician. Come on, let's not eat, let's go." And so I had been living in Paris. That's the only reason I didn't know who Billy Joel was. France was the only country that he hadn't conquered yet. And so we walk into the bar, and there's Billy and two of his friends sitting at the bar, and I'm still scanning the room like, where's the rock star? And my friend Hops goes straight over to Billy and starts talking, and I went and joined them. It was funny because I wasn't sure what to call him. Like, is it Billy Joel or, and then he has another name like Billy Joel McKechnie, jumped off the Tallahassee, or is it? So I just said, you know what? You look like a Joe to me.
You called him Joe.
And he said, you know what? My mom calls me that. So go ahead.
That's
and
amazing.
I always called him Joe throughout our whole relationship.
And I bet the fact that you weren't starstruck was great, right? He was that caught him off guard. Christy, I know you've got to run. This has been a pleasure. Uptown Girl, a memoir, available wherever books are sold. I'm holding up my copy right now. So thankful you were able to join us. Final quick question: Were you gifted the red Ferrari from vacation?
Yes, but I said, you know what? It's too small for me.
There you go. So you got the family truckster instead. Christy Brinkley, later live on the Mark Arum Show. Uptown Girl. We got her on. Good job, Deborah. And Deborah did a pretty good job in the pre-interview process. Fantastic stuff. All right, quick break. We'll only come back after news, weather, and traffic. We're going to update our top local stories. Kim Commando is going to join us live talking tech, and we'll give away some amazing tickets. So much more to come. Stay with us, friends. It's the Mark Arum Show on WSB.
Multiple contractors and estimates for your home projects? What a hassle. Instead, trust the Plus. Painting Plus.
Hi, I'm Charlie, owner of Painting Plus and the Plus family of businesses. We're reliable, fully licensed, and insured. No muss, no fuss. Trust the Plus and leave everything on your list to us.
If your home's exterior has it, the Plus can improve it. Painting Plus. Siding, gutters, windows, decks, porches, roofing, and more. Trust the Plus. PaintingPlus.com. Coming up from the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra, a Delta classical concert featuring Tchaikovsky's delightfully atmospheric First Symphony, Winter Daydreams. Your orchestra welcomes piano virtuoso Marc-Andre Hamelin to perform Bartók's Third Piano Concerto, which overflows with dazzling pianism and good cheer. The program begins with Weinberg's raucous rhapsody on Moldovan themes, May 15th and 17th at Symphony Hall. Details at aso.org.
Storm season is bearing down on us, and that means power outage season is here too. Dave Baker here for Brightbox Electrical. Being stuck in a dark, hot home as storms start to fire up is no fun. That's why my friends at Brightbox Electrical, a Coolray company, are now offering $500 off a Generac home standby generator, and if you purchase now, you'll receive a 2-year maintenance and monitoring plan for free. So don't be left in the dark or the heat. Visit BrightboxElectrical.com to schedule your appointment.
This is Window Nation, your source for affordable replacement windows at the highest quality. So if your old windows have you boiling in the summer and freezing in the winter, You need the pros at Window Nation with installation precision and experience that are second to none. Their custom windows are guaranteed to be a perfect fit, and they're backed by the best warranty in the industry. Go to getwindownation.com for your free estimate. And for a limited time, buy 4 windows, get 4 free, plus no interest for 2 years.
Sell your home and get paid twice? Orchard makes it happen. Get cash up front to buy now, then more when your old place sells for top dollar. Go to orchard.com or call 1-844-421-SELL.
Hope. It's more than a word. It's a breakthrough in the making. At City of Hope, we're pushing the boundaries of science, targeting cancer at the molecular level, with teams of experts working together to personalize a treatment plan right down to your DNA with unprecedented speed, making every second count, with appointments in as little as 24 hours. City of Hope, advancing cancer care at life-saving speed. Learn more at cityofhope.org.
At Ameris Bank, we know it's never just business when it's your business. So we're here to be your partner. Whether you're launching a startup, expanding locations, or managing daily finances at your company, you can do it all with a committed financial partner on your side. Our expert business bankers are ready to empower you on your financial journey. We're Ameris Bank, and we're fiercely yours. Visit your local branch or learn more at amerisbank.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hey, it's Shelley Winter. Car prices are expected to rise this summer. Do you wait or buy now? At Butler Lexus South Atlanta, there's no guesswork, just peace of mind. All in-stock Lexus vehicles are price locked, guaranteed not to go up. Visit Butler Lexus of South Atlanta or call 800-NEW-LEXUS. Experience the standard of amazing.
Scott Slade here from iRoofer, FGA Roofing. Are you considering a new roof but not sure when you're going to be able to get it into the budget? FGA Roofing is offering a 000 offer this month. 0 down payment, 0 interest for 12 months, and 0 monthly payments. Search FGA Roofing for a free quote today.
In these uncertain economic times, you want the most bang for your buck. Am I right? You want to make sure the money you're spending gets results. It's Mark Aram back from my friends at Advanced Hair. That's what you get at Advanced Hair. You get bang for your buck, and you get a guarantee that Advanced Hair is going to regrow your hair. This is not a pill or a lotion subscription that helps retain what you have. Instead, Advanced Hair offers the proven guaranteed solution that regrows your hair where it's currently gone. Quick, simple, one-day treatment, and your real hair begins to regrow the very next day, and it's guaranteed for life. Takes just one visit, but first you need a free consultation, guys. Schedule now, 470-660-HAIR or advancedhair.com. And if you move forward, you get $250 off plus 250 free grafts. That's bang for your buck. One-day treatment, life-changing results, your own natural hair guaranteed to grow, advancedhair.com.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 11:30. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by Rocco's European Garage. The FBI is investigating now after a drug enforcement agent opened fire on a man and a woman in Calhoun. According to Calhoun police, the drug agent was attempting to stop the vehicle on Outlet Center Drive when the driver tried to hit the agent head on. That agent opened fire, hitting the man and woman who were inside the vehicle. They were not killed at the time. No officers were injured. The FBI is now investigating. All right, your weather for today, partly cloudy, warm and humid. Afternoon highs 83. An isolated pop-up shower cannot be ruled out this afternoon, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. She'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up in just a matter of minutes. A man is dead in Snellville, and police are now searching. A woman is dead, and police are searching for a man this morning. Gwinnett Police Corporal Ryan Winderweedle says that a child inside the home on Hillsborough Drive called 911.
When officers arrived, they located a female deceased inside the home, and they were informed that the suspect had just fled on foot.
Police are not releasing the woman's name or her cause of death. The woman and her alleged killer did know each other. The children inside the home are not related to either one of them. In Barrow County, a judge has now set the trial date for the father of the Appalachia High School shooter for September 8th. Prosecutors say Colin Gray bought the gun that his 14-year-old son is accused of using in the shootings last September. The judge ruled that pretrial publicity warrants a change of venue, but he has yet to rule on whether the trial will be moved or if a jury from outside Barrow County will be brought in. Ukrainian officials say Kyiv is ready to sign an agreement that would give the United States access to its valuable rare minerals in the hopes of ensuring continued American support for its war in Russia. The deal would give the U.S. access to significant deposits of more than 20 raw materials deemed strategically critical. A new report shows the economy shrank for the first time since the pandemic, the GDP decreasing at a rate of 0.3% since the beginning of January. That's the first drop in 3 years. Rebecca Jarvis has more.
What you're really seeing here is that uncertainty that is playing out across corporate America. We've now heard from so many companies, including UPS overnight, talking about the fact that they can't even forecast their future right now because of the uncertainty surrounding tariffs. So you see that uncertainty playing out in the GDP report that we just got.
All right, let's take a look at the markets. The Dow's currently down 283 at 40,244. So the Dow's down more than 0.5%. NASDAQ's down more than a full percent. And the S&P's down almost a full percent. It's 11:33. Time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams at the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
Brand new crash in West Atlanta heading toward downtown. I-20 eastbound, Martin Luther King Jr. Drive, exit 53. Right now, they're holding 2 right lanes. The cars are all to the right, so hoping they can get this crash there. But either way, it's slow in the ride back toward Holmes Drive. No need for an alternate just yet. Downtown, on and off the brakes, 75-85 northbound from Langford Parkway up to Peachtree Pine Street. That stall in Buckhead is now on the right shoulder. Everything back open. 400 southbound, approaching Sidney Marcus Boulevard, exit 1. So the brake lights leaving Lenox Road have cleared up as well. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly cloudy, warm and humid today. High 83 with an isolated pop-up thunderstorm through the afternoon. Lows tonight in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy with a few more pop-up showers and storms. High 84. Friday, partly cloudy with scattered afternoon thunderstorms. High 82.
77 degrees in Stonecrest. Fairburn has 77 and it's 75 in Winder. We'll have more news at noon. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
On air,
online,
on the app,
where you get your news,
is where you'll win.
Download the WSB radio app now and maybe win $1,000.
That is awesome.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
5 words, 5 times a day, every weekday.
This is Jill from Roswell, and I just won $1,000.
Just enter the word at WSBradio.com or on the WSB radio app.
Your next chance to win is coming up at 12.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz
on 95.5 WSB.
First of all is the legacy of Pope Francis. Are we going to have a pope who gets up and says, Francis was a disaster?
That's
we need
Father
to go back
Tom
to
Reese previewing the upcoming conclave, how tech is going to be used at the conclave. We'll examine with Kim Commando next on the Mark Arum Show.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Is your old AC unit ready for another sweltering Atlanta summer? Probably not. Hey, good news. Mark Arum back from my friends at Reliable. Great new deal going on right now, guys. Any size AC, just $69.99 a month, 0 down, low monthly payments, and next day installation guaranteed, or they pay you $500. Any AC, just $69.99 a month. Book an appointment for a convenient time right on their website at reliableair.com and click on the schedule service button or call or text 770-594-9969.
Attention men, are you suffering from ED or PE? Here's an important message from Choice Men's Health.
I'm Dr. Katz and I'm the Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Are you performing the way you want to in the bedroom? If the answer is no and you've tried Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra and were disappointed, then you need to come see us immediately. If you don't see results on the first visit, then there's no charge. Many of our patients have medical conditions such as diabetes, hypertension, obesity, and prostate problems. I'm happy to say that we have 98% success rate with all our patients. Our customized solutions will allow you to perform within 10 minutes and last an hour and even longer. You can regain your love life and tackle your ED and PE problems. Guys, your partner will never complain again. Our clinic has the most affordable prices, so if you visit other clinics and you're not completely satisfied, then you need to call Choice Men's Health.
Regain your love life regardless of your age or medical history. Choice Men's Health guarantees results on your first visit or you pay nothing. Call now, 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170.
You do not want to miss this. For the next few days, you can get 3 rooms of carpet clean plus a free hallway from the cleaning pros at Zero Res Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning for only $109 when you mention me, Chris Chandler. That's right, 3 rooms of carpet clean plus a free hallway for only $109. This offer is only available for a few more days, so schedule your appointment now before it's too late. Schedule online at ZeroResAtlanta.com. Zero Res, it's the right way to clean.
He packed in the animals 2 by 2, ox, camel, and a kangaroo.
Kim Commando joins us live in mere seconds, but first, Deborah, let's give back to the listeners yet again. What do we have today, my friend?
A pair of tickets to see Hans Zimmer at Gas South Arena on Thursday, September 11th.
Let's do the 11th caller then to Vinny Drip at 404-872-0750. 11th caller to 404-872-0750 wins an amazing pair of tickets to see Hans Zimmer, courtesy of the Mark Arum Show and 95.5 WSB.
She's a winner.
Joining us live, longtime friend, colleague, idol, tech goddess, Kim Commando. Kim, good morning, my friend. How are you?
I think I need to have that on my phone, on my alarm.
Oh,
when I wake
absolutely.
up. I need to hear that.
Whatever you need from me, I can do for you. Kim, I've been very excited about the upcoming conclave. I just watched the movie, to decide and determine who will be the next pope. And apparently technology will or won't be in play during conclave.
You know, this is really fascinating. Back in 2005, the Vatican told all the cardinals, no flip phones. Well, that's pretty adorable, right? But so now what they do is the cardinals and that room actually get scanned 3 times.
Whoa.
They have these broad spectrum signal jammers, and so it kills all the Wi-Fi, all the Bluetooth. Even if you're using AirTags or earbuds or whatever it is, they just won't work. They also put directional antennas, and that floods every window and rooftop gap just in case. And then even before the jammers fire up, these tech crews will sweep the rooms with what's called nonlinear junction detectors. These will basically sniff out any hidden circuits. And then they're also putting in analyzers for any rogue signals. Okay, so that sweep happens before the cardinals get in the room, after the cardinals get in the room, and also again once the voting starts. And also every person, everything gets inspected 3 times, from clothing to pens to crosses to rosaries, no matter what it is.
That's insane.
Now, what about the windows? Okay, this is where it also gets pretty wild, is that satellites, can read a license plate from orbit, and then of course we have drones. And AI can lip read now. And so on the windows are dual layer privacy films, and it's a metallic, almost like a laminate, and it blocks 99% of the light. And from the outside, every window looks like a black mirror, but inside they see this dull gray glow. And the cardinals are not even allowed to look out a window. They're not allowed to open a window. And underneath St. Peter's Square, there's this command center that it's 650 cameras, 4K cameras. They have microwave fences. They do RF triangulation, and they have drone jamming guns. I mean, you don't think about all this happening because you're like, this is where they're going to pick the Pope.
Sure. Let me jump in for a second, Kim. So folks that aren't familiar, like the cardinals are sequestered, right? Once conclave starts to vote. So all of these, these things are in place to prevent any sort of influence for the cardinals or even lip readers trying to figure out who's winning the vote or not. That is fascinating. That's like next level security stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And, remember the Vatican is like maybe a small 18-hole golf course. I mean, as far as Vatican City, so it's small. But this reconnaissance effort, it's something that you probably just don't think. Like they have counter UAV radar that tracks anything with propellers. And so once the white smoke does rise out of the conclave, all these systems will suddenly pivot to be crown protection, because they expect in St. Peter's Square over 200,000 pilgrims. Okay, so what's going to happen then? Well, facial recognition. It's actually run locally not put in the cloud to dodge any hacking. They have simulators that will track any type of burner phones. And all the communications that happens in this security and reconnaissance, it's all encrypted. And it's just fascinating to me when I was reading about all this that it reads like a Tom Clancy novel.
Yeah, seriously.
All this stuff is going on. I mean, imagine if like they got hacked, or imagine if somebody were actually to say, "Oh, I think it's going to be Peter of Rome," or whoever it may be.
Yeah, because you can wager on it, right? There you can actually bet on this. So if a gambler has inside info, oh, it's going to be Pope Commando. Cardinal Commando is going to be the next pope. Let's go throw $1 million on it. That is fascinating stuff.
Yeah, it's really super interesting. And if you want to read more about it, I actually wrote, there's a whole article about it on the website, because I did a deep dive and I spoke to some folks to say, how exactly do they make sure? Because it's so hard to keep a secret now.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, we
Absolutely.
have all this tech, and people like spill the beans on social media, or, you have an intern that, leaves a prototype phone at a bar or whatever it may be. But when it comes to the Conclave, which, by the way, you saw the movie, I watched the movie. It is really interesting, and I bet you it really happens that you have like these little cliques.
Oh yeah.
And these groups and trying to say, I think this would be the next pope. I think this should be the next pope.
100%. I got to ask you a question. So earlier in the show, we had White House correspondent John Decker on it. He was on Air Force One yesterday with President Trump going to Michigan, and I asked him, I figured it's a working trip for him. I figured, all right, Air Force One has in-flight Wi-Fi for him to do his stories and everything. He says he doesn't know about the front of the plane, but the journalist side of the plane, there's no Wi-Fi. So they are disconnected from the world while he's on Air Force One. Is there any workaround for him to be 30,000 feet in the air and somehow get a signal?
Yeah, get Starlink.
Okay.
Yeah, Starlink has something called Roam, and it's about the size of an iPad.
Interesting.
And you just sign up for Roam, and I think they have in some cities they're actually giving the hardware away for free right now.
Oh.
You have to check their website to see where that may be, and after that it's about $120 a month. And it's for travelers, it's for RVers, it's for campers, or whatever it may be. But the whole idea is that wherever you are, that you'll be able to get a signal. That's assuming that they don't have any jammers inside Air
the
Force
Secret
One.
Service saying,
Right.
no. A final question for you, Kim. Security of our cell phones, our smartphones, is very, very important to everyone listening right now. What is the secret phone code that thieves fear the most?
Oh, it is called the IMEI, and you know what that means, right? It's the
IMEI.
International
Okay.
It's the International Mobile Equipment Identity. I know you're like, whoa, I'm going to use this to impress my wife tonight.
IMEI.
So what you do is on any phone, mostly it works, and there's always exceptions, but on just about any phone, if you dial *#06#, and that's *#06#.
Okay.
What that does is that will give you the IMEI number. It's going to pop up on your screen instantly. And so if your phone ever gets stolen or lost, you just call the carrier and you say, this was the IMEI number, and then they can actually disable the phone. It becomes a brick.
Oh, wow. Okay. And you just have to do this once and remember that IMEI number?
Yeah, you don't want to take a screenshot of it because obviously you leave that on your phone. Okay, so you want to, maybe print it out. I know, kind of old school, or save it as in a Google Doc, or
get
maybe
it tattooed.
Maybe in your yes, exactly. Or maybe I have mine in my contacts. So, because even though I have my contacts on my phone, I actually have it, accessible through iCloud. So, it just depends upon, how it works. Now, if for some reason, if you do the *#06# and nothing pops up on your screen, all hope is not lost. Just head into your settings on your phone, and it's going to be in the About section. Android's a little bit different. You have to go settings, about device, or about phone status, and then it says IMEI. But it's an important number for you to have. Of course, you're going to wipe your phone, but if you just want to just brick that phone, that's when you need to have that number.
I'll have Deborah do it in the break for me. She handles all my
Okay,
technological stuff. Kim, for folks that want to read that article about Conclave on your website, tell us the website again, please.
It's simple. It's Komando.com, Komando.com. While you're there, we're giving away a pay it forward contest. So somebody's going to win $500, and then you're going to tell me who you would like to give $500 to. And so you get $500, and your friend or family member or stranger or cause or whatever it is, they're going to get $500 too.
I'm going to give it to the new Pope. That's who I'm going to pay it forward to. Kim, always a pleasure. Thanks so much for the great insight, buddy.
You betcha. Thank
you. Go. That's Deborah, that's fascinating stuff about the conclave. And that wasn't in the movie, jamming the cell phones.
That was
and all.
not in the movie.
Yeah,
No, not at all.
That was remarkable. All right. Fascinating stuff. Hey, congrats to Joe in Sugar Hill, baby. Sugar Hill. Joe won a pair of tickets to, Vinny, was that a female Joe or a male Joe? He's still on the phone with Joe. Anyway, Joe, congrats. You won a pair of tickets to see Hans Zimmer, Gas South Arena, September 11th, courtesy of the Mark Arum Show at 95.5 WSB. There's another chance for you to win, a chance at $1,000. That's coming up after the new news. I'm going to give you another keyword in the $5K a day bonus, but it's a female Joe. All right, congrats, female Joe, for winning that. Yes, but right now, let's check traffic. Live to Atlanta's only 24-hour traffic center, Alex Williams.
Hey, Mark, checking on the new slow zone up in Kennesaw, 75 southbound, getting past Chastain Road toward Barrett Parkway, picking up a few brake lights back to Wade Green Road. We're going to check on that. Traffic troopers tell us of a crash. We're going to scan the jam cam in northwest Atlanta, 75 southbound, West Paces Ferry Road, exit number 255. And if you're coming through Lawrenceville, don't forget about that work zone, 316 westbound, passing Duluth Highway. Left lane blocked there, causing a few brake lights, but no big need for an alternate right now. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm Chris Chandler. Thursday starting at 5 on Atlanta's Morning News. Breaking stories from overnights and Clark Howard's suggestions to keep your next snack purchase from taking a bite out of your wallet on WSB.
Dave Baker here for Coolray. You know that Coolray Heating and Cooling, Plumbing and Electrical always has your back, right? Well, right now, Coolray's offering an AC tune-up for just $79.99. Hey, that's a great deal. You can stay ahead of the heat that's coming our way and get your HVAC system in tip-top shape. But maybe your system needs more than just a tune-up this year. Maybe this is the year your AC needs to be replaced. I had mine replaced last year because it was old and inefficient. But good news again, not only can you receive up to $2,250 back in rebates when you purchase a new complete Carrier HVAC system from Coolray, but they will also upgrade your attic installation for free. Imagine the home comfort you'll feel. And Coolray has those sweet Carrier home comfort systems, the ones that come with a lifetime parts and labor warranty, on hand and ready for same day or next day installation. Keep your house cool this summer. Simply go to Coolray.com and set up your appointment today. Coolray and Carrier. Turn to the experts.
I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. When garage doors break, they usually don't break all at once. They don't just up and die. They die slowly. Garage doors complain a bit before they crap out, squeaking and sticking and shaking and grinding. They go down part way and then stop and go back up for no reason. But they hardly ever just end up dead with no symptoms and no long goodbye. If you ignored the signs, that dead door is on you. At Mo Better Garage, we make that way mo better. Our 19-point seasonal maintenance check makes sure everything's healthy. Oil the chain, check the rollers, realign the tracks, talk to you about how things are going, and look into any symptoms that might have you worried. Catch problems early, and your garage door should be around to play with the grandkids and talk about the old days when all this was just farmland.
Mo Better Garage, we make it way more better.
MoBetterGarage.com.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. to restore your love life in just one visit. Call now, 404-885-8885.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for mouth-watering meals and appetizing ingredients. Our low prices add up to big savings, plus over $600 in digital coupons each week, and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. At Kroger, you always get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Right now, you can save on large avocados or delicious mangoes. They're just $1.49 each with your digital coupon. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
It's Diamond Month at D. Geller & Son Jewelers, and that means this month, buying diamonds comes with even more diamonds. All through the month of April, when you spend $9.95 or more, you'll receive a pair of gorgeous hand-matched diamond studs absolutely free. Shopping for your wife? Tuck those studs away for your anniversary. Upgrading your ring? Surprise your daughter with her first pair of diamonds. No matter how you spin it, there's no better deal in jewelry than Diamond Month at D. Geller & Son Jewelers. All April long in Kennesaw, Sandy Springs, and online at dgeller.com.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular and get your second month free for a limited time. You'll get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month. Here's Veronica and Jackie, real customers.
I didn't know that I could get something for a lot less money that was actually better than who I was with before.
Anytime anybody complains about their cell phone bill, we say, you've got to check out Consumer Cellular.
And now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free when they use promo code SECONDFREE. Just call, click, or bring us your bill and see how much you can save. Because when it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and use code SECONDFREE to get a free second month. Real people paid to share their opinions in this ad. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
This is London calling. Here is a news flash. The German radio has just announced that Hitler is dead.
80 years ago today, the BBC reported the death of Adolf Hitler, April 30th, 1945. Not a positive way to end the Mark Arum Show, but there we are nonetheless. We do have some breaking news. You might have just got a push alert from the WSB radio app.
Where is
Hector? That horrible prank call that the son of the Atlanta Falcons coach made to Shedeur Sanders. Well, the NFL has reacted, and they have fined the Atlanta Falcons and defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich after his son admitted to prank calling Shedeur Sanders. The Falcons will have to pay $250,000, and Ulbrich, the coach, is going to have to pay $100,000 for, quote, failing to prevent the disclosure of confidential information distributed to the club in advance of the NFL draft. Oh, my goodness. That kid is grounded. He's costing his dad $100,000. Yes.
Jeez.
The Falcons released this statement, quote, "We appreciate the NFL's swift and thorough review of last week's data exposure and the event that transpired due to it. We were proactive in addressing the situation internally, cooperated fully with the league throughout the process, and accept the discipline levied to Coach Jeff Ulbrich and the organization. We are confident in our security policies and practices. We'll continue to emphasize adherence to them with our staff, whether on or off premises. Additionally, the Ulbrich family is working with the organization to participate in community service initiatives in relation to last week's matter." I guess the only positive is this wasn't on the Signal app. That would have that would have made. All right, so the dad is fined $100,000. If I'm the dad and my son just cost me $100,000, I'm putting the kid on a payment plan or something, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Listen, son, you screwed me. I need $200 a week for the next 25 years, something like that. That's unbelievable. Wow. Unbelievable.
I told Leslie last night, I was like, I love my kids, but if they cost me a job, like, man.
Well, I mean, what's the NFL assistant coach make? Half a mil?
Probably, at least.
Somewhere around there. That's stiff. I mean, $250,000 to the Falcons organization is nothing, but for the coach to have to pay $100,000, we're on a payment plan or something, or you're doing dishes and mowing the lawn. I know you're 21 and you're a grown man, but yeah, we're figuring out a way for you to pay me back. Anyway, that news just popped. You probably got the push alert on the WSB radio app.
Longoria's fact of the day.
All right, today's National Raisin Day. And raisins have been part of a human diet for thousands of years, starting in Central Asia and spreading globally. They were valued in ancient Rome and in Greece, used as currency, and even offered as prizes in athletic competitions.
Now, how hungry was the first human to eat a raisin? Right? Because you look at it and you're like, oh, that used to be a grape, but someone had to be starving or had the munchies. They were smoking some of the wacky tobacco on the Nile River, and they found a bunch of dead grapes, and they're like, I don't care, I'm starving. Raisinets, Deborah, thumbs up or thumbs down on Raisinets?
I hate raisins.
You hate
raisins.
You hate raisins?
In
Wow.
everything.
Them.
All right. What about rice pudding with raisins in it?
Nope. I hate raisins.
I like a good raisin, but not in rice pudding.
That was a snack as a kid. I haven't had a little box of raisins in forever.
The little box of raisins.
Yeah, that was a great little snack as a kid.
That's awful. You give those out at Halloween, probably.
No. I'm not saying but as a kid, I come home, I get a little box of raisins.
No.
Dead grapes, as we call them in the Aram household. All right, fantastic fact of the day, Longoria. Let's see if it gets you a star of the show or not.
And now, are you guys ready for the Mark Aram Star of the Show?
Yeah. Why not, Longo? You did a great job. You were spinning plates back there. We got blown off by Christy Brinkley. You did a great job. Vinny brought his A game again today and finally delivered on Chick-fil-A. 27 minutes late, but we'll give him a belated star of the show yesterday to our buddy Jackie Brammer. I told her I was hungry before the show yesterday. She came in with a handful of snacks, so we'll give Jackie a star of the show. White House correspondent John Decker, political analyst Stephen Lawson, Bloomberg's Mike McKee, Carter Evans live from the ports in L.A., Kim Commando, Jordana Miller in Israel, and Jim Ryan. And Christy Brinkley. She was actually really nice once we got her on. Very pleasant, very pleasant. All right, don't go anywhere. I'm going to give you another keyword in the 5K day bonus blitz in just minutes. Social media is active throughout the broadcast at Mark Aram and throughout the day at Mark Aram and at WSB Radio. Stay safe. Have a great Wednesday, Atlanta.
WSB Atlanta, WSB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
WSB consumer expert Clark Howard, sponsored by Ragsdale Heating, Air, Plumbing, and Electrical.
I can tell you as a longtime driver of Teslas, it is so distracting when I'm trying to do something as simple as hit the turn signal or try to put on the windshield wipers because there's not buttons or levers. When you're shopping for a new to you used vehicle or a new one, if it's got screens for everything, you have to be comfortable using those, knowing you might occasionally take your eyes off the road.
An investment in your home is something that will pay off in the future, but it's something that you can enjoy right now. Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons Garage, Entry Doors, and Windows. A beautiful new garage door, entry doors, and windows are an investment you can love every day, and they will increase your home's value, energy efficiency, and curb appeal. All Four Seasons, trusted in Atlanta for over 25 years, exceptional customer service, and high-quality work. When trust matters, trust us. All the number 4 seasonsgarages.com.
News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
It is 12 o'clock on this Wednesday, April 30th, the last day of the month. Good afternoon. I'm Sabrina Cupid. The news here at noon is sponsored by Jim Ellis Automotive. Our top local story is just in. Punishment for the Atlanta Falcons from the NFL for a prank phone call made during last week's draft.
The team is fined $250,000 after the son of defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich called Shedeur Sanders. The fine is for a data leak that led to 21-year-old Jax Ulbrich getting access to the number for Sanders off an iPad. In addition to the team fine, Coach Ulbrich is slapped with a $100,000 fine. The team issued an apology to Sanders after Jax Ulbrich pretended to be the general manager of the Saints, telling Sanders they plan to draft him. The Falcons say they have been proactive in addressing the situation internally and accept the discipline. Bill Caiaccio, 95.5 WSB.
All right, thank you, Bill. Partly cloudy, warm and humid today. Afternoon highs around 83. An isolated pop-up shower is possible this afternoon, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. We'll have Atlanta Radio's only 5-day forecast. That comes your way at 12:05. Happening now, a manhunt underway in Gwinnett County after a woman